This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Hello, boys and girls. Time to have some fun on the Big O Radio Show. Y'all good out there? It is a win, and in the end, that's all that matters, ladies and gentlemen. A win is a win is a win. Was it beautiful? No. Was it perfect? No. But it was a win. And in the end, that's all I'm going to care about. I don't know about you guys, but that's all I'm going to care about. A little win and getting it done. And that's about it, folks. That's the way it should be. 4-3. So hopefully they could get to 5-3 this week against the Detroit Lions. And hopefully they'll play a lot better than they played this week. They need to get healthier. Healthier would be actually really, really important for this Miami Dolphins team. It would be a beautiful thing if they actually can get healthy. I can tell you that. But let's hope that everything works out, and hopefully the boys will get going in the right direction. Look, I think with Tua being off for 24 days, it kind of took them a little bit also out of their rhythm too. And I think that's what you saw a lot of yesterday was a quarterback that wasn't in rhythm. The defense, I give them credit. I don't know how they're still hanging. Now, they played a rookie quarterback. Let's also be honest. It helps out that you're playing a rookie quarterback. And I like the kid. I think he'll be fine down the line. I think this is a good gamble by them in drafting that kid. But he's still so young. So you can't expect young players like this to go in there and take over in situations like this. So, this kid Pickett will be fine down the line. Miami was fortunate last night. They got some breaks, and in the end, hey man, that's all that matters. You get some breaks and you move on. No big deal. You'll figure things out. You'll get better as the year goes on. Hopefully you'll get healthier, which is really, really important. But 16-10 yesterday, and one of those kind of games that you walk away, that you win, but you aren't necessarily satisfied overall. And I definitely get that. By the way, Brian Walters, thank you, sir. Already wasting no time sending in a super chat, and we always appreciate that. Rosendo says, good morning, Big O Nation. This Monday, I pray God blesses you with joy that overflows, that it would be filled with laughter and his grace. And they also have graced us with a Dolphins win. So there you go. It's a good thing to be graced with a Dolphins win. Yes, Giovanni, I whipped out a Strikers cap today. I wanted to go a little old school today, and you know, you never can forget some of the logos of the past here in South Florida, and that, my friends, is an iconic logo in South Florida. Ian Baller, thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. He says, was McDaniel's worst game so far? He will clean it. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You guys got to understand this. The defense is injury riddled. You're down to like your seventh and eighth and ninth corners, and now you're in backup safeties now, and your quarterback was out for a couple of weeks. Your offensive line still isn't healthy yet, not really playing great. They gave him pretty much enough time at least to pass, throughout the game. So that I'll give him credit. You don't really have a dominant running game. You don't even really have a real good running game, period. Don't forget dominant. And yet you're finding, a way to win in an ugly game. And things started off, well. And this happens sometimes where somebody that's been out, you might hit your first shots, and then after that, you go into a funk and you're missing the rest of the night. And listen, yesterday was a day where maybe a lot of us got a little humbled. And I talk to you guys about this all the time. As remember how I tell you that sometimes fans have unrealistic expectations, and then when they don't meet your unrealistic expectations, you get mad at them. Well, I had unrealistic expectations. I thought Tua would play much better. But that's stupid of me to say that and to think that, because he's a human being like anybody else. And it's just like it's normal for Kenny Pickett to struggle and make mistakes because he's a rookie quarterback. Same thing. A veteran quarterback, I don't care. Not even Tua. I'm talking about a 10-year quarterback that's been out for 24 days. I can see them being rusty. I can understand that. Sure. Are there guys that have been off for a week, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then they come back and they're lights out right from the get-go? Yeah, that happens. But more often than not, you're not really in a groove. And you have to get back in it, and you'll make mistakes, and you won't be as sharp. And that's exactly what happened to Tua yesterday. And I'm the idiot to think that he was going to not miss a beat after going out there and being out for 24 days. And that's where I failed. But I'm not going to get mad at the team. They won, dude. Yeah, like I told you last night, it wasn't pretty. But winning is what it's all about. Wouldn't you rather be 4-3 than 3-4? What do you want? You want a 4-game losing streak now? Or did you want to snap that 3-game losing streak? Because I don't know about you, but I wanted to see the Dolphins snap the 3-game losing streak. That's exactly what they did. So what are we going to complain about? Okay, it wasn't pretty. There are things you have to correct. Mike McDaniel didn't have a great game as a coach. Tua Tagovailoa didn't have a great game as a passer. The offense, line, running game did not have a great game. I understand all of that. Injuries mounted. The Brandon Jones injury just depresses me because they've done a marvelous job of at least patchworking and getting by in the secondary. As the quarterbacks get better, that'll be a problem against that secondary. They were lucky yesterday. They were up against a rookie quarterback. That helps. But I got to give them credit. At least they sucked it up and gave them enough plays. And, Noah Igbinoghene is going to make 47 terrible plays, and then once in a while he'll make a good play. And at the end of that game, and I'm not getting into maybe this will turn his career now. I'm past that. He's going to need to do a lot more and consistently for me to ever believe that he can become a corner. You know what I'm saying? And I know I was reading, he's 23 years old and he's in his third year. And he is young, by the way, because you figure the guys that are there for 3 or 4 years, you're coming out of college and you're 21, 22. You're 3 years in. You should be closer, to 24, 25 sometimes. And so I get it. He's a young guy and he hasn't played a ton and all that good stuff, but I need to see a lot more from Noah. And this was a rookie quarterback that he was going up against. So it's going to make his life a lot easier, like everybody else. Kenny will get better, but the question is, will Noah get better? Great play for him yesterday. Happy for him. Got both feet in bound. It was his signature play. That's what happened last night for Noah Igbinoghene. That was the signature play of his short career. He hasn't played a ton. Most of the time when he's played, he's struggled. And this is the greatest play he's made so far in his career. He sealed a victory for the Miami Dolphins by intercepting that ball in the end zone. Great play by the young man. Got to give him love. He deserves all that love. But I'm not going to use it as a crutch like, hey, okay, this is going to turn you the corner. But again, give them credit. They fought through it. They got the win. We can't get to the – listen, man, we're talking about a team that doesn't win a ton and doesn't ever really go to the playoffs. They rarely go to the playoffs. So they're 4-3 through their first 7 games. They have 10 more games to go. They're not going to win all 10 because that would be 14 wins. But if you go out there and win 7 or 8 of them, you're going to be in a terrific spot at the end of the year. And they have an opportunity. Now, they got to get a little healthier. They'll get more consistent. All those things will hopefully come to their side and hopefully open it up for them. Leva, how does Tua spend 3 weeks in the NFL concussion protocol and Kenny Pickett spends only 3 days? Can't answer that, bro. What do you want me to do? It's the NFL. It's, they're inconsistent, and all they did with the Tua thing was try to appease, all the lynch mob and all the people in the news and all that, because it was front page news and the fingers and all. Kenny Pickett didn't have any fingers. It wasn't on national television. And so it's not the same thing. So they knew they can sweep that under the rug and move on. The NFL does what it wants. And guess what? Guess what, Leva? The NFL does what it wants, and you're going to watch again. So they can keep Kenny Pickett out for 3 days and Tua for 3 months. You'll still watch. And they know that you're their bitch. I'm their bitch. They know. So you can complain and bitch all you want. Look at all the women watching the NFL. The NFL for decades has done practically nothing to people that beat women. Women still watch. They flock to the NFL. Teflon, dude. So Leva, women in general, all of you want to complain about the NFL. Oh, they're kneeling, all that. You're all full of shit. I'm full of shit. You're full of shit. We're all full of shit, and they know it. So they know they can get away with anything. So all of you asking the whole thing, oh, well, why can Pickett for doing it? Because they're the NFL. And they're going to step all over you, and you're going to buy their tickets, and you're going to buy their jerseys, and you're going to buy their shirts, and you're going to buy the red zone, and you're going to watch. After you whined about the concussions and the mistreatment of the Dolphins with Teddy and with Tua compared to Pickett or anything else, or Cameron Braid or any of the other endless, what was the other receiver that in that Cincinnati game that had, was it McGee or whatever? The kid had 2 concussions going into that game. You'll still watch. You're still buying tickets. You're buying suites. You're going there. You're tailgating. You're spending a ton of money. You're inviting friends over to your house. You're going to a friend's house. They're spending hundreds of dollars on the food and the drinks and all that stuff. You're their bitch. So you can complain about kneeling, you're back watching. You can complain about the concussions, you're back watching. They'll beat women left and right, all the women will watch. None of you ever walk away. You bitch and complain, but you won't walk away. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that fantastic? They know they're Teflon, and they could get away with whatever they want. Anything. Nothing brings them down. Deflategate, Bullygate, doesn't matter. None of it brings them down. And you'll still watch. No matter what, if they kept Teddy Bridgewater out for a couple of weeks. And no matter if maybe you had a chance to win that Jets game if they kept Teddy Bridgewater in, who showed no ataxia, you're still watching. You didn't give up on the NFL. You watched. All those people that whined about kneeing, guess what? After the kneeling, they're still watching. And how many of you actually have left the league in the last few years? 20 of you? 100 of you? 1,000? You don't even make a dent. So the few people that actually took a stance against the NFL, you don't make a dent. Okay? Everybody that screamed about kneeling, 99.9% of them are watching again and loving it. And the 50, 100, or 1,000 that said, I'm not watching anymore, they don't care. They picked up 10 times those fans in the last couple of years. Young fans and all international fans and all that. So whatever little minimal, a guy here, a woman there, or whatever that left, they replaced you tenfold. That's the truth. They can step all over you, and you're not doing a goddamn thing about it. You got that, Leva? You'll be watching. You'll be rooting. You'll be buying shirts, jerseys, tickets, NFL passes, all that good stuff, baby. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard to the abusive relationship called the NFL. Ohio John, thank you for the love on the super chat. Noah got the big play that Nolan Carroll never did. It's very good. Very good. Big O went to the game, was fun, but I've never seen a traffic condition at any other stadium like the one at Hard Rock. Took 3 hours to get out of that parking lot. Yeah. Listen, dude, the only place, there's only one arena stadium that got it right in South Florida. Only one. The FLA Live Arena. Outside of that, you go to the AAA, you go to Hard Rock Stadium, you go, oh my God, you go to Inter Miami. You want parking nightmare? Holy crap. That is the worst. Okay? Now, again, that's a temporary stadium until but the Miami one will be a disaster too. Where it's at in that corner right there next to that highway where there is really not a lot of, avenues to get out of. Oh my God. I can already see South River Drive so packed. I can see 37th Avenue as an effing gridlock. I hope you don't have to go to the airport during that time. You better, and make sure you use what's called Lejeune, because brother, you go by 37th Avenue or any of those other areas, you're going to be screwed during a game. So really, the Panthers are the greatest arena and in South Florida history. The vision of all of that was just absolutely fantastic. And that's the only arena. You go to a concert or a game, and it's the easiest one to get out of, the smoothest one. All the other one, it's hell, bro. Oh, well, no, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Marlins is not so bad because only 3,000 people go. So you could get in and out of the Marlins game real quickly. They have no crowds. Once they ever get a crowd, then yeah, of course. If you're going to go for like the baseball classic or a Yankee game, hey, Yanks. Wow. Oh, wow, I'm sorry. Oh, wow, I'm sorry. It's just that happens when you say Yankees. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. I got to stay away from that. Wow. Whew. Man, I took my pills this morning, did I? Yeah, I did. Okay. Let me stay away from baseball. Let me stay away from that one. But anyway, so as I digress, yeah, it sucks, but that's kind of part of the game. Hey, man, do what professional South Floridians do. Leave early. That's it, brother. It's a concert. Get your ass going as the encore starts. Don't wait till the encore is over, because then you're stuck in traffic. That game, well, you were going to have to give up the Noah Igbinoghene interception. Watch it oh, wait a minute. I think when you're inside that stadium, right? When you're inside an NFL stadium, it's hard to watch the television or something like that, right? Doesn't it get blacked out inside the stadium? But, if you can watch it on your phone on the way out, then you do that instead. But yeah, if not, you got to take the bad with the good. I hope you rolled a really fat one while you're sitting there for 3 hours. Okay? Because that's probably what should happen in your car. It should be all smoked up like, if you were hanging out with Wiz Khalifa in that car. It's probably what needs to happen. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo. That is Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. If you want to make a donation through Cash App or Venmo. And Ho Yoon, thank you, sir. On a happy Monday, he makes a donation through Venmo. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Address is Cash Big O Show on Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. Dang, Big O, finishing up late last night and already back to work. Well, man, JN, we're here for you guys. And not everybody can be listening last night, but you can go back and listen to our post-game show or watch it. And, one of the things that we want to be, Sean and myself, is consistent and reliable for you guys and be here all the time. Now, I'm not going to go past 1 o'clock today. I'm not doing that today. I got to take care of the voice. I didn't get to sleep as much as I would like. So I know how it is with my voice. If I don't sleep enough and I have a short amount of sleep and I'm talking every day and I talk for several hours, something that, nobody else does in town, not even close. So, it's just one of those things that it puts a lot of burden on me. So I have to make sure, there you go. I have to make sure I rest, because if not, then I, burn out the voice. So I got to make sure I take care of that. Big O, the ultimate Miami sports talk hustler. I'll take that, John Yang. Thank you, sir. Nico says, always the hardest working sports podcaster, broadcaster in South Florida. I really appreciate that, Nico, immensely. And I can actually say with pride that nobody locally works half as much as I do on the air. Okay? Not even half. No one on no station and no podcast works harder than Sean and myself. That I'll put up our work ethic over everybody in town. It's not even close. Let's see. Rosendo says, do you know if the Panthers arena is right next to Okeechobee? Are you talking about like Okeechobee Road? No. Or are you talking about Okeechobee Boulevard? And no, neither one. Now, if you're coming from the west and you're way west or south or north, I will tell you this. If you could come down to 595, like for me, personally, sometimes I can actually go, like, if there's traffic, I'll go through Chrome, then get bloody 27 over, that's 27 for those of you, Okeechobee Road or whatever, and then take it to 595, and then take 595 right into the arena. I do that sometimes, so I stay west of the counties and then come in, and there's a lot less traffic. It's a really smooth drive, by the way. That's what I love. And the new Chrome is not, shady like it used to be. It has a big ass medium in the middle, so it's got multiple lanes. It's not what it used to be where they had a freaking counter on that road. Remember that? Remember how they used to have a counter on that road? How many people have died on that road to kind of remind you about how dangerous the road was? Yeah, they don't have the counter anymore about how many people have died on this road this year. Thank the Lord. Jesus, that was a disturb. Yeah, hey, I've got a great idea. Let's put a billboard next to Chrome Avenue, and we'll keep track of everybody that dies on it. And we'll remind everybody, hey, buckle up, because look how many people have died on this road. Oh, sorry, Big O. I meant the Everglades. Sorry. Yeah, of course. It's in the Everglades, dude. It's kind of, I live in the Everglades. Yeah. Anybody that lives, I don't know, practically on the other side of the turnpike, you're within feet of the damn Everglades. That's that's how bad it is. You just built up from there. You know what I'm saying? It's not just after Chrome, the Everglades. That's all the other stuff before it was the Everglades too. We just built it up. It was all mushland back there. Big O, saw you late last night, now early this morning. Do you sleep in the studio? Yeah. Yeah, I got a little cot right here. And I just sign off, dive on the cot. Then the alarm wakes up and I get up and come on over, man. That's it. That's the way it goes, baby. Let's see what we got here. And John Nazaran, thank you for the love on Venmo. He says, thank you for the great coverage. Do you think we will see Myles Gaskin instead of Chase Edmonds in the near future? Dude has dropped too many passes. John, I hope so. To be quite honest with you, I hope so. It is time. Chase has gotten a lot of opportunities, and he's fallen short a whole ton of times. And to me, here's my problem with how the way they're handling this part here. And some of it is not Mike McDaniel's fault, but some of it is. So I get it. You sat there with Chris Greer in the offseason, and you probably both identified Chase as a guy that fits what you want to do. And by the way, Chase is a good player. Okay. I don't know what the hell happened to him here. He's in some kind of a funk, but Chase Edmonds is a good player. Now, it's been a disaster for him, but here's the important part. Myles Gaskin has paid his dues. He's a good football player. He's proven that over and over again. Is he a great back? No. Is he a bell cow? No. Is he a good football player? Hell yeah, he's a good football player. And he always seems to be productive more often than not when he comes off the bench, whenever you call upon him. Now, he has not done that for Mike McDaniel for 2 years. So Mike McDaniel's not going to have the same appreciation you and I have for Myles Gaskins. So here's the thing. Now, if you're the coach, at one point or another, you've got to say, hey, we've given Liam Eichenberg enough leeway here. We got to try Robert Jones. Okay. Yeah, we traded up for Liam and all that stuff, but Robert Jones has done everything to put himself in this position. And just because he's a street free agent doesn't mean he doesn't deserve it. Chase Edmonds. Okay. So he was your free agent pickup. So far, it hasn't worked out. Well, Myles Gaskin has paid his dues. And just because he's a 7th-round pick doesn't mean he doesn't deserve to get a shot. So I'm with you. You're in a crossroads right now. You're about to hit the halfway part of this season now. Decisions have to be made, man. Liam Eichenberg has had more than enough time. And he just cannot make the improvements that you need. You've got to move on. Chase, you've given him opportunity after opportunity. He has screwed up a whole bunch of them. Myles Gaskin does not screw up a lot. So give Myles Gaskin a little bit. It might light a fire in Chase's ass. It might help him to kind of, refocus everything. You know what I'm saying? But I'm with you. I think you have to give Myles Gaskin an opportunity. And if you don't, I think you're kind of cheating your team. Christian DiMartino, thank you, sir, for the love on Venmo. He says, play calling in the fourth. Mostert clearly running ball better. No doubt about that. Think Marino needs to sit down with Tua and tell him how to preserve his career instead of trying to run people over. You are correct, my brother. You are 1,000% right. Now, here's my problem with that. And if Marino's going to talk to him, I need him to do it visually. And I'm not talking about Marino face-to-face. No. I'm talking about show him the film. I want you to show him the film. Do you know why I want him to show him the film? Because there are things that Marino has never done in his life that Tua has. Yeah. No, it's not 6 touchdowns in a game. No, sir. It's not 6 touchdowns in a game. Do you know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. It's pretty simple. It's something that normally Marino would never do. Marino would never think of. Marino would never fathom to do. And that's this. Never. I watched his entire career. At no point did Marino scramble and then say, oh, I'm going to put a shoulder into a defensive back, a linebacker, or something like that. And so what I need to do is, if Marino's really going to talk to him, okay, I need Marino to show him the film of saying, hey, Tua, why don't you go through all my film and see if I did what you did last night against Pittsburgh? What are you talking about, Dan? Well, I saw you run and take on a defender. I want you to find the film where I have that. And then, we're not done yet. I want you to find how I hung onto the ball so many seconds that I took on a beating for no reason at all. I want you to go look at it. Watch me fling the ball. Play's not good, throwing it away. So for a guy that idolizes Dan, I told you this last week. Okay? I told you this last week, and this is why I believe we give you better insight on the Dolphins than anyone in the nation, period. Okay? Nobody knew Flo was getting fired. Right here. Okay? And we're the ones that told you that Flo never wanted Tua. I didn't want to say the name. Kudos to Omar. He found out finally that it was Jordan, but we get some stuff here on this show before everybody else. And Tua's biggest problem is he's listening. He's paying too much attention to all the shit we're talking about. Not me, but some of you out there. Noodle arm, not tough enough, can't run a powerful offense, can't get it done. Okay, and all that stuff. And he's out there playing like a maniac because he's trying to prove people wrong and trying to justify his existence. When you got to play like Marino, bro. Throw the ball away. I don't need you running into linebackers and defensive backs, my man. I need you to slide. I need you to run out of bounds. I need you to learn how to play like Marvin Harrison. I need you to learn how to play like Ted Ginn. I said it. I said it. Yeah, I said it. Play like Ted Ginn. Play like Ted Ginn. People don't know, but Marvin Harrison played exactly like Ted Ginn. Go watch Marvin Harrison. Why do you think he had a long-ass career? Because he slid, ran out of bounds, sat down. He wasn't going to take a hit. Marvin Harrison, no. Sorry, bro. No. I'm going to burn you. And when I've gotten the yards I'm going to get, I'm going to sit down. I'm not going to fight for 3 more so I can take on 4 tacklers. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not stupid. Marvin Harrison was one of the smartest players you will ever see on the field. Don't mess with him off the field because he's always carrying a gun. Just warning. But outside of that, besides shooting your ass off the field, on the field, Marvin Harrison was an incredibly intelligent player. And Tua is not. Taking on tacklers and linebackers and DBs, there's nothing smart about that. There's nothing smart about hanging on to the ball so much that you will blow out your hip and your ankles and get slammed to the ground because you're holding it for 5 seconds. That's not smart. So when he comes to the sideline and then we hear that cute little story from McDaniel after, and he rips, coach, I needed that. I don't want to hear that shit anymore from Tua. I don't want to hear any more from you, Tua. I want you to do it, bro. Show me that you can use your head and stop thinking with your ass. Because that's what he's doing. He's got his head up his culo, as Scarface would say. And you got to stop Tua. Marino never did that. Montana never did that. Peyton Manning never did that. There are tons of quarterbacks, tons of players that said, no, I'm not doing that. You don't pay me for that. And guess what, Tua? They don't pay you to do that. They pay you to pass. Pass the ball. And then pass on the play if it's not there. But don't be taking on linebackers, dude. Slide. Let's see. Mel B. Crazy. Thank you for the love in the super chat. The 2023 question with Tua's playing style, do you pay him $300 million extension or not? Well, Mal B, we don't have to worry about that till then. I don't play the hypothetical bullshit game. I appreciate the super chat, but I don't play stupidity here. Go to lazy shows. Okay? Where are we 2 years from now? I don't know. Don't know. So let's wait till we're there 2 years from now. I can't do it now. Okay? Just like we're not trading for Brian Burns. We had those idiots last week, and I calmed them down right away. I said, where has it said that Brian Burns is available? But what legitimate reporter is reporting that? Because there were none. But some of you clowns were sending me stuff from some guy that's an unknown, from some site that's unknown, wannabes. We don't play hypotheticals on this show. Call other radio stations that can't talk sports, that don't know sports, or call other, fan programs or something that they can't come up with content. They don't have great guests. So call them because they have to play that hypothetical bullshit stuff all the time. I don't play that. Okay, we're way above that. We actually do real sports talk, not fantasy bullshit talk. What if we do this? And what if we trade for that? And go find another show for that. Okay, there's a lot of other hosts out there that can't create any talk, so they're lazy and they come up with stupid talk and silly talk and hypotheticals. Lots of shows like that. Tons of shows. Go search for those. That's the kind of show you want, dude. The shows that waste your time for a half hour coming up with Brian Burns trades. Marcelo Cambises, thank you for the love on the super chat. Big O, I'm a Dolphin fan since 1990 and season ticket member since '02. Never sold the ticket to visitors. Our fans should be more loyal to the team, not to the profit. I'm tired to see visitors invading our home. Well, Marcelo, first of all, thank you for the super chat, but it's called business, man. You know, it's funny because, like, the Canes don't get a great crowd. And, you know, some people want them to get a better crowd. And the Marlins don't get a great crowd. And the Dolphins get shady crowds at times, right? Well, do you want to fill the stadium up with your fans? Well, do your part. That's the bottom line, dude. And for well over 20 years, the Dolphins haven't done their part. They don't do enough to convince people. So you have enough people that will buy the tickets, go to some of the games, and if they have a chance to make a fat ass profit, they'd rather do that on a Sunday night than go to work all screwed up on Monday morning and say, I'll watch it at home. Why? Because it's not a great team. The Marlins aren't even a decent team. They're a joke. So they don't deserve anything. The Canes, they've been a joke for a long time. And losing to Duke makes you an even bigger joke. Those days of discretionary income and that you bought tickets and you went to the no matter what, those days are done. You know, that's left over in Green Bay, a couple of those places that, you know, that's, I guess, the thing to do there. Not here, man. We got way too many transplants. We got way too many people from other parts of the country. You are going to have to earn those seats. So if you want all aqua and orange in those seats, get back to being great. Marlins, you want to get a real crowd? Spend money. Do something. You never do anything. Canes, you've been an embarrassment for 20 years, dude. You've been a joke. And I love Mario. It'll take him a while to turn it around. But unfortunately, people aren't going to go out there just because Mario Cristobal's pretty face is on the sidelines. That doesn't mean shit to people. So until Mario gets the character people in there to turn it around, because clearly let's just call it like we see it. He's got a lot of crap in that program. They might be guys that are talented, but they have no heart, man. That's a gutless program right now. And Mario has to find guys with a whole bunch of balls. That's the difference between the Canes of the past. Those players had balls. These are little mama's boys that are taking the field. They fold the 10 at the sight of the first bit of adversity. Actually, there's something there like some of you Dolphin fans out there. The days of, oh, no, pack the stadium. No, dude. Do your part. Entertain. Be good. Okay, you want loyalty? Well, then you need to create that loyalty. The Panthers are well on their way to do that. The Heat have done it for 25 years. They've been winning for 25 years under Riley. They go to the playoffs, what is it, 20 out of 25? 19, 21 out of 25? I don't know what it is. It's a stupid number. It's just a ridiculous number that in a quarter century, 1 out of every 5 years, you don't make the playoffs or something stupid. Might be even less than that. I'm not exactly sure. But my point is, they earned it. That's why their house is always packed. That's why they get crazy-ass support all the time, because the Heat have earned it. No other team has earned it anymore. The Panthers are on their way. They're on their way. They're the best team in town. And they're winning again. So they're building it. But those days of, oh my God, you got to stay loyal. And no, man, Marcelo, things are tough, man. And if somebody wanted to sell that ticket and they got 3, 4, 5 times the amount of what they paid for, God bless them, dude. And they watched it at home, there you go. But I get it. You got to earn it. and they haven't earned it yet. Prove to people that you can win on a consistent basis. Devin Jordan, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, I feel sorry for John Ruiz after he spent all that money on NIL deals and that top coaching staff. The coaching staff is fine, except for Josh Gaddis. I'm still not convinced with Josh Gaddis. That one, I'm not sure if Mario made the right hire there. He may have to make a change there down the line. I'm not ready to throw, Josh Gaddis out with the baby in the bathwater and all that stuff, like they say. But he's on double secret probation for me. I'm not that impressed with him so far. We'll see what happens. I don't give a shit about his award that he won last year. I don't that none of that means anything to me whatsoever. But I like this coaching staff overall. It's just, Devin, they don't have enough dogs in that program. There aren't enough Warren Sapps. There aren't enough Michael Irvings. There aren't enough Andre Johnsons and Santana Mosses. There aren't any Darren Crines. There aren't any, just guys that Russell Maryland and Jerome Brown, and I could just go on and on and on, and Calais Campbell's, and give me a Calais Campbell on the team right now. You can't. Is there an Ed Reed? No. Is there a Sean Taylor? No. There's no Benny Blades on this team. No, there's no Benny Blades. Sure, the Williams kid looks terrific, but he can't even come close to those guys I just talked about. He's super talented, but he hasn't come close to even playing like those guys that are studs. He's not even Tremaine Mack, bitch. Okay? Kitchens, James Williams, that they can't hold Tremaine Mack's jock. Forget Ed Reed. Forget Benny Blades. Forget Sean Taylor. They don't have anybody close to Tremaine Mack. And if you're too effing young, learn your history. No dogs, bro. There are no dogs. That's what it is. The U was full of dogs. Guys that they were not going to be stopped. Okay? They don't have that on this team. And Mario knows it. Did you watch Mesidor play? That's the kind of guy you need. That's the kind of guy you need. But you need a whole bunch of those guys. Kobe Young, but you need a whole bunch of those kind of guys. And as good as those guys are, they're not. Mesidor is not Russell Maryland yet. That's the problem, Devin. Mario has to get the dogs in there. They don't have some bitches in there. They just don't. That's the problem with the University of Miami football program. EJD Construction, folks, 305-433-4843, fully insured, liability, workers' comp. Folks, do not ever hire anyone to work in your home that is not fully insured. That is a liability on your part. That's a mistake, because if they get injured on your property, they can sue you. That's right. So if you hire somebody that's fully insured, liability and workers' comp, you are covered, because it's their insurance company that covers their workers. And by the way, the people that come working in your house, the ones that are uninsured, they know the law better than you. They're ready to sue your ass. Okay? It's a thing. So be careful out there. Call the professionals like EJD Construction, and they do it all. You want to expand your home? You want to modernize your kitchen? You want to gut your house? Did you have a fire? You need remediation? How about the roof? Right now, he's doing a lot of roofs right now. Why? Because there's a lot of homes in South Florida that are not up to code. The code has gone up. It's at another level. And before they give you that new insurance policy, your roof needs to be up to code. EJD Construction can get you up to code so you can pass and get your insurance for the next storm season. This storm season ends right now, November 1st. Be prepared for the next storm season. 305-433-4843, folks. Reliability, accountability, that's what it's all about. That is Eric's personal cell number, the owner, Eric Colon. 305-433-4843 for ejdconstruction.com. Manuel Malo, hope it was all rust. Detroit has a horrible defense. Great chance to get back on track. Thank you, sir. And I believe it was all rust with Tua. You could tell because he was just off. The timing was just off. It's obvious. It was nothing. It wasn't anything about the Pittsburgh defense or anything like that. Don't even think that's silliness. Okay? Has nothing to do with anything that went on. It was just, go look at the drives where they scored. The passes weren't necessarily clean by Tua also. There were times where it was a little behind also. The receiver just made the adjustment. There was a lot of Ryan Tannehill-ish passes yesterday by Tua. They were just late. They weren't leading. And that's all timing. That's all it was yesterday. Nothing more. He'll be fine. I am not worried about Tua at all. Okay? I'm more worried about Liam Eichenberg. Robert Jones needs to start. Kari P. Damn it, Big O. You got me hyped this morning talking about the truth about the Finns and the UM situations. Great contextualizing using the Tremaine Mack example. Well, that's because you're old enough to know Tremaine Mack. You got to have history. You got to have, you got to know. But just think about, isn't it true what I just said? Forget Sean Taylor. Forget Benny Blades. Forget Ed Reed. Forget about the elite of the elite. Okay? You don't even have Tremaine Mack back there. And I don't even, and by the way, Tremaine, I apologize. I don't mean that by being, I'm dissing you. You are a freaking awesome player here. You had a knack for the football. There are very few, like Ed Reed had only Ed Reeds had more of a knack than you did, which is like odd. Okay. Because Ed Reed's the elite. But Tremaine Mack was a badass mofo. Made stuff happen all the time. No one in that secondary comes close to even Tremaine Mack. So we got to work our way up the ladder. Okay? Like Colby Young showing me something. He's not even Wesley Carroll. Are we clear on that? He's not even Dale Dawkins. I'm not going to go in Andre Johnson's path or Michael Irvin or Santana Moss or no. I'm not going to talk about the elite. I'll talk about the second level guys. The receivers here aren't even at that level. Do we have real talk now? Right? Real talk. And who was here before that saw those guys? Oh, yeah, some guy named Mario Cristobal. Yeah, that's right. He saw that. What do you think? Did you see the guy that helped seal the game yesterday? You know that guy named Javon Holland? Come on, baby. Javon Holland is in the Tremaine Mack, in the Ed Reed, in the not at the NFL level, I'm saying at the college level. That's who he was for Oregon. And he could have been for Miami. But that's the kind of guy he needs. He needs that kind of dude like Mesidor is. And until he loads up that team with those kind of dogs, you'll never see the U back again, because that's what Alabama has and Georgia has. That's what Ohio State recruits. They recruit those sumbitches. And until you get a nasty mofo on the O-line or whatever it is, D-line, linebacker, wide receiver, tight end, quarterback, you're not going to get back to being the U. Because when I start mentioning the names, then that kind of reminds you, and then go back to what you're watching, and you're going, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. We're kidding ourselves here. We're not seeing any of those kind of players on that team. Are you watching a young Ray Lewis anywhere? I'm not talking about an older Ray Lewis. I'm talking about that first-year Ray Lewis. Is that anywhere? I must have missed it. What linebacker for the U right now is playing like a young Ray Lewis? Remember the young Ray Lewis? Those of you that are old enough? He shined right away. There's no Michael Barrow on this team, dude. Come on. Give me a break. Juice F5. Oh, who are your top 5 DCs in Finn's history? Oh, God. I don't know now. That's a list. I'd have to think about that, Juice 5. And right now we got a lot of other things to talk about. I don't want to get into that kind of that's an off-season type of conversation, not an in-season conversation when we got a lot of things to talk about. Somebody get to an industrial-sized bottle of WD-40, Big O, 4 dropped interceptions. Yeah, but that's close doesn't count on anything, my brother. So I don't care about that. There's a reason why they were dropped. The Steelers suck. So they're supposed to drop interceptions. They have players like the University of Miami football team. So for me, that's none of that means anything. I saw people drop 2 interceptions from Tom Brady in the game yesterday. Happens in a lot of games. It may not be 4, but 1 or 2 happens a lot, believe it or not. You watch enough games. So for me, none of that. And if you're hanging on that, that's pretty sad. They won the game. That's it. The Steelers suck. That's what sucky teams do. They drop interceptions. They can't score. They lose a lot. That's what the Steelers are. They suck. Okay? They're a terrible team, not a terrible towel. That's all. So, to me, hanging on to the 4 dropped interceptions, oh, my God. You know, it's funny, but you don't talk about the drops that they had for Tua also, you know, but that's how it goes. It's funny because if in a game they drop 3, 4, 5 passes, the guy that's thinking about the dropped interceptions never mentions the drop passes for the quarterback, only finding the negative in it. And that stuff, that 4 dropped interceptions, that doesn't mean shit to me. What that means is the Steelers, they're exactly what we think they are. They are who we thought they are, and they suck. Okay? There you go. That's in my Dennis Green rest in peace voice. The Steelers are who we thought they are, and they suck. Big O, the Dolphins corrected the penalties from the last couple of weeks, so that was good to see. Yeah, just got to play a lot better, man. Big O, we dropped 3 interceptions from Josh Allen, who we beat the Bills. Yeah, that's not important. It's only important. Remember, Frankie, it's only important when Tua does it. When Tua does it, then they can actually go. I bet those stupid shows today, they use that as a topic. They'll drop the 4 dropped interceptions. And the best part is that they used it to talk about Tua, not to talk about how terrible the Steelers are, and maybe talk about how terrible a team can be when they drop 4 interceptions. Okay, that, you know, like, what is that front office doing? What kind of playmakers? No, let's spin it to Tua. I love that. It's fantastic. Let's see. Yankees had 4 drop games. That's right. That's right. All that money, and you choke like a dog. Too funny. Too funny. Big O, Tua still undefeated, baby. The guy wins, period. Exactly. That's how you got to look at it. Cigar Social Club has the right attitude. And to me, that's the guy came back and you found a way to win. You're 4-0 with the guy. By the way, he and the kid in Philadelphia are the only quarterbacks to start and finish games and win all their games that they start and finish. It's not bad. Okay, Philadelphia is the only undefeated team, but there are only 2 undefeated quarterbacks who start and finish their games, and Tua is one of them. So suck on that. And when he wins next week, anybody that tells you any shit, you just say, well, listen, all I know is that when Tua starts and finishes a game, they're 5-0. And then that it's like the fools that fell for Fitz. And it's like, do you realize that Tua has a better winning percentage than Fitz? And they're like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm a fantasy player. I was just worried about fantasy numbers. Oh, okay. I got you now. That's why you thought Fitz was so fantastic. Oh, I got you. They don't count interceptions. Okay, no problem. I'm calling BS on that Tua Aura BS. Well, what can I tell you? The guy's got a winning record in high school, winning record in college, and a winning record in the NFL. Yeah, it's phony. He wins on all levels. Yeah, it's phony. Big O, I think we need to play Gaskin more. Yeah, we talked about that already. You can rewind. It's there. I'm with you. Big O, I really like the 72 Miami Dolphins intro to last night. Yeah, that was cool. It was good to celebrate those guys. And listen, we're running out of time, unfortunately, because we're losing most of them. There aren't a lot of them left. I don't know how many there is, like 12, 15 or something left. That's time goes on. You appreciate that accomplishment more and more and more. But I thought Bridgewater was supposed to take Tua's job by now. Yeah, I know, Ron G, right? That was supposed to happen. And it didn't. All right, let's do this. Give me 2 minutes here. Rest a voice. We will get ready to start hour number 2. Alan Poupart will join us at 11:30 right here on the Big O Radio Show.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them.
With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation.
Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house! Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Number 2 of the program. Thank you for giving us a couple of minutes here to rest the voice. Yes. Here we go. By the way, it looks like Bitcoin's still holding strong, dude. 19.4. By the way, right now, did you guys know that Bitcoin is less volatile than the S&P 500? Second time that's happened. It happened in 2020. But at one point, it will be number 1 permanently in the world. It's just a matter of time. So everything balances out. Dougie Fresh says, update on vibrating butt plug chest cheating after world champion Magnus Carlsen accused player Hans Niemann of using butt plugs to cheat. He is now suing for $100 million. All right. Nice job. Okay. Chris Greer, please go get Roquan. No, I don't think. Didn't Roquan sign a new deal? Did he not get a new contract finally? I thought he did. Did he, or am I dreaming on that? I think, right? See? Let me see. You might be right. I don't know. No, he's still signed through 2023. So yeah, no, he hasn't gotten a new deal yet, at least. But I believe right now you got to trade for a corner if you can. That's what I would do if I'm the Dolphins. You got to find a corner. They've had so many injuries. And then the other one is a defensive end. And they had the guy here from the Bears that had the back injury. I'm brain farting now with his name. We talked about him last night.
Robert Quinn.
Say it again.
Robert Quinn.
That's it. Robert Quinn. Thank you. So Robert Quinn is a guy that could be available. And the Bears, don't they play tonight? They should drop to 2-5 tonight against the Patriots. And if that happens, then maybe you can make a move for Robert Quinn. And let me tell you what, and remember, he was already here once. Quinn, let me tell you what his deal is, just so you'll know. Because if it's in the final year or maybe 2 years left, they still might be able to release him after that. Yeah, there is 2 years left. So he is making a base salary of $12.8 million. So you're about halfway through the season, so it'll cost you $6.4. Now, you didn't give him the signing bonus. So next year's number of 13.9 and 12.9 in 2024, you can release him and you won't take a cap hit. The cap hit will be done by the Bears because they traded him, so they will take the cap hit. So if the Bears don't feel that they're going to want Robert Quinn around because they're going to be rebuilding a little bit more, they could be moving him, and you might be able to get him cheap also, by the way. You will not give up a very high pick. Why? Because there's a big salary. So you've got to be able to accommodate it, and not a lot of teams are going to be able to accommodate it. Miami will. They have the money under the cap, so they'll be able to do it. Robert Quinn would be a nice move, and then the cornerback also would be another nice move. Jackson or somebody, but you might have to give up something there of value there. I don't think in the Robert Quinn move you're going to give up a ton of value. You'll give up something, but not too much. But corner and pass rusher would be the things that I would go after, only because I'm not getting, Jalen hustled last night and got the sack, but you're still not getting enough from him, and you're certainly not getting enough from Agba, who was out last night. So I think pass rusher would be another one that you could go after here. Quinn is not changing a thing and getting pressure. Well, he's had some pretty good years since he left here. When you got him here in Miami, he was fresh off that back injury, and he didn't play well. But I think he might be one of those guys. There aren't a lot of pass rushers out there. They don't grow on trees. Okay? See some breaking news. 2 students injured in a shooting at a St. Louis, Missouri high school. According to the school district, the suspect was quickly stopped by police inside the school following the shooting. Kind of shit that never happened when I was a kid. It's terrible. Terrible. We had too many injuries. Where the hell is Byron Jones? Yeah. I don't know what the hell's going on with Byron Jones. That one's disturbing. He is stealing money right now in a big time way. Let's see. Watching an exchange on Twitter. That was funny. Carlos says, I think the defense did something amazing yesterday. With no on the field, remember that this team's defense heavily leans on corners and we have none. No, I know. Hell, even X, he's not 100%. You could tell that the real X is not playing out there right now. Dolphin Don says, agree. Oh, we're pretty jacked on the kids, but nobody ever shot us at school. Yeah. I mean, you had a fight here or there or whatever, but guns weren't something that was a part of schools at all. At all. You didn't have any school shootings and stuff like that. That's just, I don't know what some of these kids think. You're 12, 14, grab, dad's gun and go shoot up something. Like, who thinks that shit, It's like, how stupid can you be? That's not the stuff that ever crossed our minds. We weren't that stupid. I don't know what it is. I don't know what stupid pill these kids have taken, but considering that everything is so much more modern and you can educate yourself a lot faster in today's world, you would figure they'd be smarter than we were. That's the amazing part, isn't it? That when it comes to common sense and decency, we had a hell of a lot more than anything of these generations. It's not even close, dude. The lack of respect for human life now, it's insulting, it's demoralizing, it's depressing. We never, ever thought that way back in the day. It's just weird, really weird. There's a lot of stupidity in this world, a lot of ignorance. Robert Quinn had 18 and a half sacks last year. Is that correct? Yeah, he kicked ass last year. Yes. Robert Quinn, when the Dolphins got him, he was fresh off a back injury and surgery. And then it was kind of his rehab year. And then the second year is when he's healthy, and then he's played well. I'll pull up his stats if you want, dude. Let me pull up Robert Quinn's stats. I'll show you. Since he left the Dolphins, okay, his numbers went up drastically. The year of the Dolphins, okay, he had 6.5 sacks. Since he left the Dolphins, 11.5. Then he went to 2, 18.5, and now he has 1. Okay, so down year, up year, down year, up year. This is a down year. I don't know. We'll see. But 11.5 and 18.5 in 2 other years, that's a crap ton of sacks. You know, throughout his career, he's had 10.5, 19, 10.5, 11.5, 18.5. And then the other years are 5, 5, 4, 6.5, 2, and now 1. So the question is, do you feel he will then turn it on, or is this an off year? Is the question. And that's why that's why I don't think you're going to give up a lot. That's the beauty of it. Because of the salary and the down year at the moment, you will end up getting a bargain, hopefully, from this. They can't ask for a lot. They just need to get a draft pick because they're a bad team. So, yeah. And yes, you are correct, Walt Dog. He has 102 sacks on his career. He's a pretty good player, man. In other words, like I told you, it's not like you have your selection of 10 different defensive ends out there. You'd be lucky to have 2 options out there in trade. People aren't going to let go. If they're young, they're not going to let them go. You'll have to give up so much that you'll have to break the bank for them. But an older guy, there might be 1 or 2 available on a bad team, and maybe you can get it. Robert Quinn would be one. And because there's a little bit of a history, that might help out too. Okay? Just Want to Win says, is Byron Jones really injured, or did he decide he was done playing for Miami because of the Dolphins firing a Flo? No, I doubt it has anything to do with Flo. I just think it has to do with maybe he's kind of particular about things. Maybe, maybe he's one of those guys that needs to be 100% before he takes the field. Maybe he's not a guy that's comfortable going out there at 90 or 85 or 95. I don't know. Or maybe it's a really serious injury and he's had setbacks. That's you kind of wonder if he's had setbacks through all of this. That could be the case. Big O, they need an inside linebacker. Yeah, but they don't grow on trees, man. They need a few things, ladies and gentlemen, but they're not going to get them all in this one season that Mike McDaniel started. They're going to need to make some changes. So, Jones trading crypto. He don't need the Dolphins. Well, it's a good move buying all this crypto right now at a very low prices. When it explodes, you will be if you hodl, you will be riding a nice little wave. Not that I'm a financial advisor, but you do your homework. I'm just saying. The last video I saw of Jones, he was still limping pretty badly. That was about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it's not good, man. It's definitely not good what's going on with him. All right. I think, one of the things that when we start to look at this game, I just don't want people to go a little too crazy and overreact, one way or the other. All right. They were off last night. Tua was off, 24 days off. Defense is injury riddled. Offensive line is still not consistent, but they found a way to win. And in the end, ladies and gentlemen, look around the league. Sometimes you got to win ugly, but find a way to win, not lose. So just appreciate it, man. Just appreciate it. I think that's what you should do. Your team is 4-3. So better than 3-4 and on a 4-game losing streak. Now you're losing your mind. Now you're really wondering. But you got a great chance. What are the aren't the Lions like 1-6, something like that? Come on, man. You got a great chance to go 5-3 now and start to pick up the pace. I do want to remind you, this is the team that beat the Bills. Okay? The team that a lot of people said, well, that's the team you got to beat. That's how you measure them. They beat the Bills already. And teams took advantage of them because of backup quarterbacks. Tua, with another week or two, he'll get sharp again. The offense will get going. Hopefully Mike McDaniel calls a better game because he did not call a great game yesterday. But they won, man, and that's all that counts. Sam Thompson, Big O, hope you're well. I'm concerned about the injuries. Really important win last night. Really happy with the 4-3. How far do you think the team can go with this current state of the injured roster? Well, they can't go deep in the playoffs, that's for sure. They got to get healthy. Let's be honest now. As much as I love the Dolphins, want to see them win, and I think they're a playoff team, they need to get healthy. This team has no shot in the playoffs. They need to get Byron Jones back. They need to get X back to, pretty close to 100%. You better have Teron Armstead in the lineup. Brendan Shell did a nice job yesterday. He did a good enough job that I'm like, Austin is in a battle now. Put it that way. That if not, Austin and what's his name? Damn it. Robert Jones. Austin and Robert Jones can battle for the left guard spot over Eichenberg. Although maybe you can keep Austin as your swing tackle. That might be the better move because Greg Little cannot be that guy. But Brandon Shell, he did all right, man. That's a nice find off the street. It's hard to find something that's pretty decent off the street, and they did there. Kudos. Kudos to the front office. Hard, man. Hard. Ken Helm says, how about getting Cleveland Farrell from the Raiders for a late round pick? Might just need a change of scenery. See, here's the problem I have with that, Ken Helm. We're talking about a guy that's never done anything. Has been an absolute bust. So now you're hoping to find something that no one else can find. Now, I do love the idea of getting him for nothing. That doesn't hurt. But I would still trade for Quinn instead because that's proven. That's 102 sacks proven. And if he gets back on track, along with Ogbon, Jalen Phillips, then all of a sudden you've got a nasty rotation of three guys. And I think a guy like Jalen Phillips, with those two veterans around, it will help him in development too. So if we're looking to really win, I'm going Robert Quinn. If you're looking to take a stab at development and pick up a failed project from somebody else, then Cleveland Farrell would be the guy. I get that. But if I'm trying to win and trying to get to a playoff and make an impact in the playoffs, I'm going with the proven guy. I'm going with the veteran that's done it. So that's where that's where I will, kind of differ with you. It'll be on what outlook do you have? That's how I would lean in it. Let's see. Michael Fernandez, good morning, Big O. Have you heard your entire post-game show on the way home from JRS last night? Great show as always, fins up. Thank you, Michael, for listening. Appreciate you all out there for downloading the post-game show or watching it last night. Very important. Appreciate you. Anthony Campos, Big O. Letter grade for defense is always an A+ this season. With third stringers, keeps us in the game. Tua needs to have his Nature B vitamins and then have his edge energy drink. He definitely did not have an edge last night. He needed an edge last night. He had to be sharp last night, and he wasn't, but that's all right. That's silly on my part, expecting him to be fresh and sharp after 24 days off. That was just wrong on my part. He's not Superman. He's a human being. And more often than not, guys that are off for 24 days are going to show some rust. Hell, Tom Brady looked rusty on Sunday. I don't know if you guys watched that game, and he hasn't been off for 24 days, and he looked rusty. So why not throw Austin in at guard to replace Eichenberg? Well, why not throw Robert Jones in there? First of all, Austin Jackson can't play anything right now, sir. So they can't throw him anywhere because he can't play. But the guy that can play is Robert Jones. He's healthy. Why isn't he playing? I know he was banged up a little bit, but I don't know if he was banged up enough that they wouldn't try him there. The Dolphins have the perfect chance next week to get the offense back on track like it was before the injury. Lions defense is worst in the league. Yes. Jeff C says, I love the Sherfield grab off his back shoulder. That was a possible interception. He just snatched like a beast. Yeah. Yeah, he's been a good pickup, Sherfield. That is one that's it's a good complimentary receiver, man. You know. Looked like he was locking in on his first read to get rid of the ball quicker. Yeah, he was. He was. But he was still late on throws. It's not a matter of identifying the open man quickly. It's also a matter of the anticipatory part of it, and that's where he was a little bit off on that. And that's, as I explained last night, and I've explained before, anticipatory throwers, they have to kind of recalibrate the way they face NFL speed, and they've got to make sure they've got it right, or if not, it becomes a problem for them. Timing is of everything, ball placement, all that stuff. And that's an enormous part of Tua's game, like Breeze and Montana and certain guys like that. So they've got to be on point, and he wasn't on point yesterday. That's all. So C-Spad says Sherfield's becoming a nice possession receiver, must be working with Welker a lot. We need that attention Waddle, Hill get from the defense. Amen. Amen. I heard a lot of mentions of Joe Hayden puzzling because he's retired. How many retired guys are keeping in NFL shape? Pass. Yeah, and he was kind of up and down. And Joe Hayden wants a starting job if he was going to play. But if Byron Jones is coming back, supposedly, then you're not going to have a permanent starting gig and you'll become a backup. That's not what Joe Hayden and some of those guys, Janoris Jenkins, what were the other guys that were available? There were a couple of those names. And a lot of the talk was those guys were looking for starting jobs, not backups. So that's the problem here. If you still are going for that, Canes Dolphins asking me Astros or Phillies. I'll be rooting for the Phillies in a big time way, but the Astros have got the nod. They're the better team, dude. What is it? 106 and 56 to 87 and 75. Yeah, I'm going to lean to the Astros as the pick. My heart will be with the Phillies. I'll root for the Phillies because that was my team before the Marlins. But, if you ask me objectively, yeah, I got to go Astros. So it's encouraging to see that even with Tua being rusty, he can still put up 250 yards and a touchdown with no interceptions. Yep. He luckily he throws it left-handed, so those DBs were all freaked out. They couldn't catch a left-hander's ball. Too Extreme says, we already tried the Robert Quinn project. It failed. Why go at it again when it didn't work out the first run? The Farrell kid from the Raiders is a better option, low risk, high reward. Wrong, Too Extreme. The Robert Quinn experiment didn't work because you got him fresh off back surgery. But, I mean, let's stay away from the facts. So, don't trade for the guy that has 102 sacks on his career. Let's go trade for the guy that's never accomplished anything in his career because you want to count on somebody that's never accomplished anything to extreme. How does that make any sense? You will not have to give up much. That is true. Okay? But you can't expect much either. That's the problem. And then you're going to give playing time to a guy that hasn't accomplished anything? No. Robert Quinn, he sacked a quarterback 102 times. Last year, 18 and a half sacks. I would go Robert Quinn. If you're trying to win, I'm going with Quinn. If you're trying to develop, then yeah, Farrell's the guy. And you're really getting him for next year. You can't get him for this year because really, come on. My connection is lagging big time. Yes, it is to Extreme. Yes, it is, along with your opinion. We go to Joseph Bell. I'm tired of the Tua project. We need to figure out what we have in Skyler and figure out what we need to do about a QB moving forward. Joseph Bell, thank you for the dumbass text of the day. Appreciate you, brother. That is awesome. We definitely need to make a stupid chat drop. We're gonna do that because even that one could be labeled a stupid chat because it is on the chat board. So, because we had a super chat yesterday that was stupid, and maybe he thought that I wouldn't bash him because it was a super chat, but no, that's not gonna stop me. Oh man. Anyway, so. Robert Quinn has been playing well since he was a Dolphin. Yeah, that's unfortunately, we got him at the wrong time. And that's it. Hopefully he doesn't have an off year this year if you do, actually pick him up. Tua, he's missed eating coconut. Nah, we got plenty of coconut. Come on, dude. Have you been to Little Havana? They sell coconuts all over the place. They're out on the streets. They got them in coolers. You want one? Okay. They whip out the machete, slice it, grab the straw, put it in there. Does the gas station, I don't even know if the gas station is still there. So somebody's going to have to help me out on this. But in the border of Little Havana and Coral Gables, it's right by Coral Gate, I believe is the name of the. No. It's actually a private school. That's next to it. And then there's a bakery called the Brazo Fuerte. But there's a gas station on 32nd Avenue and 16th. Okay, right across from the cemetery, right across from the park. Is that Curtis Park? No, it's not Curtis Park. I forgot the name of it. But anyway, that gas station, I know because my dad, rest in peace, he would stop at that gas station, grab a coconut, do the slice off the top, put in a straw, and there's my dad driving the truck with a coconut and drinking. Sergio's telling me it's gone, Cuban coconuts fresh off the boat. Oh, there are apartments now in that corner? Really? Wow, so they built that up as apartments. Okay. How long ago was that? The gas station is on 16th Street, doesn't exist anymore. They built a residential building. So both Tony and Sergio are you know what I also miss in that area? It was called the pizzeria off of Coral Way and 32nd, Via Italia. That was a classic place, dude. By the way, Via Italia closed, right? They didn't move, correct? Because that was an institution. My God, I love that place. I could eat at Via Italia all the time. Damn. Really good place. Coconut water, the best drink in the world. It is. It's super healthy for you. The benefits of coconut water are endless. My problem is I could never get adjusted to it. Helped me lose weight once, but I just hate it. I don't like the taste of it. Is my problem. Imagine your first and second reads, Hill and Waddle. Then you go out and throw 250 yards against a bad team. Rust is for us old farts, not for 20-year-olds. Well, I mean, what can I tell you, my brother? I guess you'll be unhappy for the rest of his tenure. So, I feel bad for you, Jeff, because now you got to watch the Dolphins and you don't like the quarterback. Too bad for you, my brother. Via Italia was on 38th and 8th Street, right? No. Via Italia was on Coral Way, right off of 32nd Avenue. Was right across from the Burger King. Fat people know landmarks. Food. Okay? It's Sportsman's Paradise, Burger King. Via Italia was right across the street from it. See, I even named a place that isn't about food. Okay? How do you like them apples? That's where Via Italia is. Via Italia was there. It's been gone for years, but I never knew if it moved somewhere. And then maybe it closed or something. I don't know. But I loved Via Italia. That was a great place. Oh, it's 100 days until the Senior Bowl. I've got all the Panhandle Circus carnies waiting for you and Sean if you stop by. Yes, Faith Healing and Sammy's. Oh, so the Sammy's in Pensacola is still open, but the Sammy's in Mobile closed. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're telling me, Dougie Fresh? Is the Sammy's in Pensacola still open? Because that's very important that the Sammy's in Pensacola is open. I think that's where you kind of really take it to the next level when you've got that. That's all I can tell you. Let me see something here. Let's see. Yes. Aha. So Sammy's is open in Sammy's, by the way, was a strip club that was in Mobile, Alabama. And years ago, when I used to go to Sammy's, right? And Sammy's. Yeah, exactly. Sammy's. When I used to go to Sammy's, I'd run into a lot of NFL people. Yeah. Coaches, personnel directors, scouts, all that. And they'd be there and they'd be getting dances and all that. But we didn't have phones in those days or no video cameras and all that. That has changed everything. Okay? Absolutely everything. Now guys don't go out to the strip clubs anymore because they can't get filmed. They don't go out and drink a lot because they don't want to get filmed. So they kind of, when they do go out, they try to go somewhere where they're away from people and they're in a group of people that they know and they can trust. So Sammy's closed down. And I think Sammy's used to survive basically from the week of the Senior Bowl.
When you only want the best, go a step above the rest. Sammy's, the South's finest showgirls.
Come on in, enjoy the sights. We got a reputation for doing it right. You'll find what you're looking for when you come walking through our door.
When you only want the best, go a step above the rest. Sammy's, the South's finest showgirls.
There you go. And you know who used to frequent Sammy's all the time? The man that's ready to go, Alan Poupart, baby. And our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com. Ah, there he is. Okay. How you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
Sure. You're trying to do me wrong, though. Never frequented Sammy's. I'd never heard of it actually before you just mentioned it.
Seriously? How long have you been going to the Senior Bowl?
No, I've been to the Senior Bowl, I don't know, like 3 times maybe.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why. Okay. And when was the last time you went to the Senior Bowl? The last couple times? What years are we talking about?
Actually, I think it's twice, and we're talking, I don't know, 2016, 17 maybe, that
Okay,
neighborhood.
it was closed already by then. Yeah, okay. I got you.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah, it was well, not that you would have gone anyway. I know you. You're not going to go to those kind of places, even if you try to get a story. But but actually, you wouldn't find them anymore now. That was my point. And you see it at the combine now too. By the way, you know it because you go to the combine every year. The coaches and the scouts, they no longer hang out like they used to nearly as much. They don't want to be caught with alcohol in their hands, and because of phones, it ruined it all. I used to go to Sammy's all the time, every year, because, dude, that's a great place to run into a scout or a coach. He's liquored up, having some fun, and they're telling you stories, dude. And we would be there till, I don't know, 2, 3 in the morning, close the place down, walk out of there. There were agents, scouts, coaches, a lot of them were married, and Sammy's would actually bring in extra girls for that week. I think they would upgrade the talent for that week because I was told that the talent was never as talented while the Senior Bowl was not going on, but whatever. And so it was a great place. I mean, I would never mention the names I saw there, but it just the things and that's the difference now, Alan, that those kind of those coaches now, they know that they would get exposed right now. Somebody, you know what I mean? To me, I've never been that guy that reports about the personal stuff because I never really give a shit about that. I want to report that either you're starting, you got benched, either you're getting traded, you're getting drafted, you're struggling, you're playing well, whatever. I'll stick to the playing stuff. Hell, I remember I was filming a show years ago. This is like 30 years ago. I'm filming a Dolphins show, and we would have 2 Dolphins on every week. So we're done. And as I walk outside, one of those Dolphins is smoking a joint. And so he sees me all of a sudden and he turns it off because the cars had bubbles of water because it had just rained.
Mm-hmm.
So he turns it off on my car. It's like, yo, that's my car. He goes, yo, man, I got it on the water. Look, you can look. And I go, that's fine, bro. He goes, no, I saw you, dog. I go, man, I don't care if you're smoking. That's your problem, not mine, bro. I'll report football stuff, not that. I don't care about your smoke, but don't burn my car, dude. Luckily, he didn't burn my car. He did do it on a drop, like he said. I give him credit, at least in that sense. So, yes, that's the story of Sammy's in Mobile. That was a place where we could go and actually, get some information and, whatever. Watch the entertainment there. I spent many of nights there where, you came out of there a little twisted from having a little too many as you're getting stories and stories. All right, so let's get to it. Your overall assessment of last night's game.
To win, it was nice to get it because it needed to happen. I don't think anybody's kidding themselves into thinking that that's going to be good enough down the line. But again, we're not at the point yet where we're going to be overly worried about that. They still have plenty of time to get better. The important thing was to end the slide, in which they did.
Yeah, exactly. And, I was foolish because I thought Tua would come out looking good, and he was off. And even if you go back and look at the early drives, those passes also weren't perfect. There were adjustments that the receivers had to make. It was a little behind or whatever. And it reminded me a lot of Tannehill type passes yesterday, that they were just off, and then the receivers always have to try to make a play. And, one of the things I talked about yesterday and I talked about today, when you don't have a gun, when you don't have a cannon that you can wait for the break and just fire it, and you're a timing type of quarterback and anticipatory, he's got a kind of 24 days off. I should have thought of that. He's got to recalibrate a little bit, readjust to his release and all those things. The deep ball to Tyreek, If you look at it, there's a little hop and a pump. That little hop and pump is what allowed him to underthrow that ball. If he takes the steps, plants, throws, he actually leads Tyreek in that throw. But because of that little hop, that little pump, that little millisecond of doing that, that gave Tyreek a few more steps, and it was underthrown. So there were a lot of things. They were fortunate they played a rookie quarterback. They were fortunate they played one of the worst secondaries in the NFL, because obviously they dropped a lot of interceptions, all those things. They got a lot of breaks yesterday that they played a really bad team. But there's no doubt that yesterday, overall, the one thing that stood out, Tua's timing was completely off.
No, and I'm tip of the hat to you for actually recognizing that, because you tend to like have a blind spot, for him. But here's what I would tell you: what he did well on that first drive, maybe the second as well, is he got the ball out. I mean, in a hurry. His receivers were getting open really quickly, and he was getting the ball out in a hurry. And then the thing is, his receivers were wide open, and he could afford to not be precise at those moments. Well, as the game went on, that margin for error wasn't there anymore, and yeah, he was just off. I mean,
he was off.
Yeah, it happens, and yeah, the Steelers are a rough team right now. The rookie Pickett might become a good quarterback at some point, but right now, I mean,
he looks like a rookie. He looks like a rookie, bro. That's all.
But it's worse than that. I mean, he looks like anything. He's afraid to throw anything more down the field than 10 yards. And when he does, then the problem, like the Javon Holland pick, is like, holy moly. It's like it's 3rd and 16 and he's throwing down the field and the ball takes forever to get there. And Holland is, that's going to fly against the quality safety,
So he's got so what you're saying is he's got a noodle arm also?
He doesn't have an impressive arm. I don't believe I've ever used the term noodle arm, but okay, no, he does not have an impressive arm.
I'm just having the Tua jokes.
Trust me, I know.
I have to slip in the Tua jokes in there. I think I like the Pickett kid, but he's a youngin', and he's going to have to make all kinds of mistakes, and that's just the way it is with young quarterbacks. A lot of times, they're going to make a crap ton of mistakes. So I'm not that. I wouldn't. If I'm a Steelers fan, I wouldn't be panicking yet. This is kind of the process that you've got to go through. But for the Dolphins, that was a great break, that you didn't play an excellent team with Tua coming back 24 days later, because then it would have been a much harder nut to crack. I mean, dude, it's tough enough to deal with all these injuries. My God, how many injuries can they have in the secondary, bro? They're down to like their 7th, 8th, and 9th corners now. And now let me tell you, the Brandon Jones injury, I think that's an enormous injury, bro. An enormous injury. I don't think they have anyone that can fill his role. Not even close, put it that way.
No, he's got a unique skill set. I mean, he's like a thumper in the secondary with great blitzing ability. And no, they don't have it. All the safeties they have are more like cover guys, pure cover guys like Eric Rowe. Obviously like Holland, but Holland's kind of special. And by the way, Fedulum, came off his role as special teams. Dude, I know he had a nice pass breakup where he jumped and took the ball away, and then he had the nice play on the 3rd and 1 where he came around the edge and tripped up Najee Harris. So to give the guy credit, I don't necessarily love him getting a touch.
I don't want he's Larry Izzo, bro. I don't want him anywhere near playing.
That's fine, but recognize that he made a couple of nice plays on defense.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I'm asking.
Hey, Noah Igbinoghene made the play of the night, but he still had a terrible night. He made all kinds of bad plays. And that's the sad part with Noah, that once in a while he'll make a decent play, but it's in between 8 or 9 other bad plays along the way before you get another good one. And that's the screwed up part with Noah. But good for him. At least he gets that moment that it is his signature play of his career right now. Right?
Question. No, and do you want to talk about, like, again, with the things with Pickett? First of all, I'm going to go back. I don't see anything from him. There's nothing that really. The play there for him, because he said after the game that it was a mix-up. He thought Johnson was coming back to the ball, and Johnson went back further deep in there at the end zone. But the bigger issue is he's got a lot of field in front of him. There's 25 seconds left. He's at the 25-yard line. He easily could have gained 7 to 10 yards, scrambled out of bounds, and giving himself 2 or 3 shots from the 15-yard line. So there was no reason for him to throw the ball. And I'm sure at no point in time did you see Johnson wide open, because he wasn't. So
yeah, I'm going to give the kid time before I think he's not the guy or anything like that. I'll wait till next year and give him some time to make. I've seen so many young quarterbacks look terrible early on, and then they settle down, and then the game's not that big for them, and the moment's not that big for them, and all that. And I kind of feel bad for him, because he's also kind of like the savior at this point in time, because that team is screwed. So now you got to throw the young guy in there, and it's like, okay, young guy, come on, try to help us, and that's kind of unfair to him. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Here's the thing. That team is screwed right now. Look at the way they played defense last night, minus the dropped interceptions. Wasn't bad. And then stick TJ Watt back in that lineup, right, and that defense is going to be problems.
Yeah. Well, last year,
that's how they're going to win games.
Right. And last year, what happened to them? They lost they lost both their pass rushers last year, getting into the playoffs or down the stretch, that is. And that's why they weren't, a good team, because they lost their two top guys on their defense, and that changes. I mean,
Correct.
TJ Watt's the best pass rusher in the damn NFL. So, yeah, By the way, speaking of pass rushers, we've got the deadline right around the corner. And I talked to a couple people last week in the league, and they told me that everything is status quo right now because everybody's right around 500. And he said in another week or two, things will loosen up, and now the talks will start. There's already 10 teams, 2 games or more under 500 now after this week. So if you're the Dolphins, cornerback, D-end, what other positions would you go after if you can try to make a trade? Because I'm sure they're going to at least try to make a trade or two.
Yeah, at this point, this is what you're looking at. But again, this idea of making trades, all that, it's fabulous, but you got to find a willing trade partner, and good cornerbacks don't grow on trees, and teams don't want to give them up. Like,
right,
the Christian McCaffrey trade was like very unique in that he's a guy with a very long injury history, and the Panthers should get a lot for him. Okay, well, what other kind of trades happen like that? And if you look at the NFL, and I know it's kind of, sorry, my phone's ringing here. And I know it's kind of a little bit different nowadays, but usually you do not see a ton of in-season big trades. Those usually happen in the offseason. We had a lot of those this year with Tyreek Hill, A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, like that. In-season, at that point, not so easy to make those trades. So, yeah, if the Dolphins are going to do something, again, for a defensive end, what team's going to give up a really good defensive end?
Robert Quinn, because the Bears are 2-4. They'll lose again today. They'll be 2-5. He's got 2 years left on his deal. It's $6.5 million prorated for the rest of the year. The signing bonus will get accelerated to Chicago, not to Miami. So you actually will be able to cut him if you want at the end of the year with really very little repercussions. Chicago's going nowhere. They don't really need Robert Quinn. He only has 1 sack this year. He had 18.5 last year. He had 11.5 another year after he left here. So he's had a couple really good years.
He was crap when he was here.
Yeah, well, we got him fresh off the back surgery, remember? So I think he was healthier for everybody else. They got him on the rehab year, which is usually the toughest year for any athlete. That's a guy that you won't have to give up much because he's an older player and they just want to dump the salary for the future because they're going nowhere. That's one guy that is available, and there is a history. Even though it may not have been Greer that was making the decisions the last time he was here, he still knows of Greer. So maybe that might be an option that you don't have to pay a lot.
But who snaps does he take?
You would take?
Who snaps does he take?
He rotates with Phillips and Agba. He's the third guy. That's how I would use it.
Melvin Ingram and Andrew Van Ginkel, who actually to me looked very good last night and barely gets any snaps. I don't know.
Well, listen, I'm on the AVG bandwagon from day one. I love that kid.
I don't know
you're
why
not going to get me to say anything bad about him. I like him a lot. I don't know why they don't play him more. That's just
correct. I mean, I'd rather skip the trade for Quinn. I think to me, cornerback is a much bigger priority.
Okay. Yeah, but the problem is, dude, like what veteran corner out there can they trade for that isn't like a Will Jackson that you have to
Correct.
then give up some shit for him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and not only that, look at his advanced stats, and they're horrible. I mean, the passer rating against him is like over 100. So, I mean, that's.
So is he having a bad year? Is he not a good player? How are you viewing him? Is he just?
I think his reputation is better than his performance, and he's having a bad year.
Okay, so then
he's a lot bigger
so
name than he is a talent.
So then you don't have to pay much for him then. You know what I mean? But
Well,
somebody they've got
got
to try to shake some tree, right? They've got to try to shake some tree.
Sure. Sidney
You know what I'm
Jones,
saying?
Seattle would be somebody that maybe I'd look at.
Okay. Yeah, they do have extra backs.
Correct.
That's right. Yeah, that's a good one too.
After they picked up that freak Woolen from UTSA. Imagine that the guy's 6'4", runs like a 2.46, and he's become a good player. Who could have seen that coming?
Right. And New Orleans got the other USTA kid, the defensive end. That school is actually producing a couple of guys.
Yep.
So there you go. So yeah, so you agree with me if you can shake the tree of a corner or something like that, because, dude, what is going on with Byron Jones?
Hell if I know, man. It's like, and then Mike McDaniel keeps insisting there hasn't been a setback. It's just like, I guess maybe we're overly optimistic, but Jesus.
Somebody told me that's not a source, so I'm not reporting this, but they told me something along the lines that he kind of behind the scenes is kind of picky about returning, that he's got to be, 100%, that if he's 85 or 90, maybe he doesn't want to return, that kind of stuff. So it's been one of those kind of things that he has not felt comfortable returning if he's not 100%. I'm not sure if that's true or not. But that's what I heard from somebody that I don't know. I'm just going to say that I heard it from somebody.
Okay.
Somebody that has some kind of a tie, but I don't know if that person has a good tie or not. That's the problem. So I was wondering if you've heard anything along those lines with Byron.
I have not, but if that's an explanation, it certainly would make some sense.
If you haven't had a setback, then maybe you are kind of particular about how, and that does happen with some players, that they will not come back unless they're right, because they're afraid that they're going to, re-aggravate or re-injure themselves over.
And McDaniel has mentioned several times, not necessarily about Byron Jones, that he does not like putting a player back into action if that player is not able to perform at peak capacity and putting bad film out there. So, or something along those lines, which certainly would go along with the notion of Jones not wanting to come back at less than 100.
But either way, you're ready to start Igbinoghene next to X, right? Is that what you want to do from here on out?
If it can be avoided, yes. No, if it can be avoided, let's avoid it. But look, hey, they're playing Detroit next week. So and Jared Goff's good for 2 or 3 turnovers. So
yeah, but you know what? Jared Goff against the secondary might actually make some plays. You know what I'm saying? But he will actually turn over the ball too at the same time.
He will.
As we all expected, Brandon Shell started at right tackle and he did a nice job, right?
Very solid. And as we all expected, they signed him to the 53. And that guy is pretty well anchored as your new starting right tackle. Maybe even once Austin Jackson comes back.
I said the same thing. I said that when Austin comes back, he may have to battle for the job or become the swing tackle, or I don't know if eventually him and Robert Jones can battle for the left guard spot, because my God, I don't know, bro. Liam Eichenberg
had some good blocks in the running game, though. I spotted him a couple of times last night with some really nice clearing blocks. There are a couple of runs where Mostert had this gaping hole like to the left of center, and I noticed Connor Williams like 5 yards downfield pushing a defender back, and Liam Eichenberg clearing it to the side. So he had those 2 false starts, not good. Didn't notice anything in pass protection. I mean, Tua wasn't sacked. He wasn't necessarily pressured.
No. They give him time to pass. They give him time to pass and all that. Okay, so now let's move over to Tua. He doesn't learn a goddamn thing, bro. He doesn't learn a goddamn thing. And if I'm sitting there and I'm Chris Greer and I'm Mike McDaniel, I'm thinking, I said this yesterday. I said our quarterback search has not stopped. we have to continue because this young man does not want to learn. And there were 2 instances where he should have slid, should have avoided contact. If he idolizes Marino, somebody fucking tell him that Marino never did that.
Sure.
Just tell him. 17 years, Marino never put a shoulder into anyone. And you know what? He was never going to do it because he said, that's not my job. That's this guy's job and that guy's job, not my job. My job is to throw the ball. And he was comfortable with that. And guess what? We all love him for that. That's it. We don't need him to do anything else. Somebody tell Tua that he idolizes a guy that he doesn't do what he does. Throw away the ball and never run into an opponent.
Marino took it to the extreme. If you remember, he'd throw a pick and be like walking. He'd be halfway down, halfway to the sideline after the pick. I'm not making a tackle. Somebody else take care of it.
Do you want Marino making tackles? Do you want Marino making? Do you want Marino making tackles?
Not unless it's a game-deciding situation. No.
Right. Super. That's the only time I want Tua running like that. It's the playoffs. It's the Super Bowl.
Sure.
I get it, dude. Week 7 against a crappy Steelers, dude. Slide.
Yeah. No, but the worst part, if you recall, like the post-game press conference, is that Tua told McDaniel after the first time, "I needed to do this." So okay, if we're going to accept that for his psyche, he needed to get a hit like that out of the way. Okay, but then to do it a second time, I mean, and I appreciate and respect the competitiveness because it was the third and 8, and he was scrambling, and had he slid, there's no way he's getting it. Well, guess what? He didn't get it anyway.
Can somebody just effing tell Tua he doesn't need to prove to us he's a tough guy? We know you're a tough guy, dude. You've blown out 2 ankles. You, instead of just repairing, you said, no, let's put a titanium rod around them so they're strengthening up. Because I'm a crazy bastard and I'll keep playing like this. You blow out your hip, which most of us will say, I'm done with this. I'm out of here. I'm going to go become an accountant. You know, that's what you do when you blow out your hip. No. This mother effer rehabs in 10 months and is ready to get slammed by Michael Brockers in September against the Rams. Okay? And now he's doing all this shit and gets concussed and all. Dude, you don't need to prove to us anything. And I think I told you this last week. I think I told you and one of the other guys this last week. He listens to what people say more than what we think now. Because the only reason he plays like this, that he wants to prove to you that he can run an offense in the NFL, that he can be a starter, that he can be tough, that he can be durable, that he can be the man. Everything that everybody's told him he can't be, that it's in his mind, and that's what you're watching on the field. This maniac is driven by all the negativity, and we're told that he doesn't listen and all that. There's no way he plays like this if he's not listening to all this shit.
That's complete bullshit. And I would probably venture to say 99% of the players, they're all aware of what's said and what's written about them. That's complete. And even kind of admitted in that NBC interview he did with Maria Taylor. I mean,
I'm taking receipts.
I take receipts. Correct. Well, well, whatever happened to you, you don't listen to social media and stuff like that. Come on, give me a break. He's been told many times, I am sure, dude, be smart. Seriously. But like you said, apparently it's not sinking in.
I played for you at the high schooler, right? I played that interview for you, right? The high school tour.
I can't remember. I imagine it's probably something.
Sean, do me a favor. Text him to his interview in high school with the Honolulu paper, please. You're going to see Tua, a high schooler, and watch him. It's only a minute. It talks about how mad his dad gets when he takes on contact. And how he then gets disciplined, gets ripped in the car. And then when I do it again, oh my God. And then I get disciplined and all that. And so since high school, his dad's been ripping him about it. Saban ripped him about it. Nobody can reach the guy. Because clearly last night, you're fresh off those concussions. And that's what you're doing, dude? Like, come on, bro.
I mean, he's lowering his head. I mean, it's just...
I just, stop it, bro. We know you're tough. Enough already. live for, Marvin Harrison was a god because the guy would catch the ball and happily slide, happily run out of bounds. Go watch Marvin Harrison. Never took any contact. We laughed at Ted Ginn. He laughed at us because he played for 12 years because he ran out of bounds.
Franco Harris.
He made his catch, he got his yards, and he got the hell out and said, no, dude. I'm not Larry Zonk. I'm not Derrick Henry. I'm not going to take that guy on. And, Warwick Dunn, Barry Sanders, there's a gift to it. Do it, bro.
Yep.
Avoid the contact. Others have done it.
Yep.
Don't get it. All right, what are you working on?
No, and here's another one too. Josh Allen is going to shorten his career because he takes on defenders, and Josh Allen is like 6'5", 235.
Exactly.
And he's another one who does it.
Amen. They'll break you down no matter how big you are, bro. They will break you in half.
Correct.
It doesn't matter. And every time I watch Tua, I think Top Gun, and I'm looking at that bald guy going, son, your ego's riding checks, your body can't cash. That's exactly what goes on every time I watch Tua. You want to have a long career, kid? Stop doing this. Yep. You want to have a short career? Keep doing that shit. Because right now, if I'm Chris Greer, I'm going, I got to go find me another quarterback. Because this guy doesn't want to stay healthy. And
there's really questions to begin with, and Tua is basically doing everything in his power to make him even more vivid.
Exactly.
Not very smart.
Sucks. All right, what are you working on alldolphins.com, my friend, so folks can check you out?
Since it was a late game, a lot of the usual post-game stuff is being done today. I already did the snap count observations, the full takeaways from the game, wrapping up the 5 biggest plays. We're going to listen to Mike McDaniel at 4:30. Hopefully he's got good news regarding Brandon Jones, or in this case, the good news would be we don't know anything he's day-to-day, because if he has definitive news, usually it's not looking good. So we'll find that out. So any other news items will be dissected and analyzed as well.
Follow him on Twitter at Poupart NFL and catch all of his work there at Sports Illustrated, alldolphins.com. Remember, you are not an official Dolphins fan if you do not bookmark alldolphins.com. That is the law. Alan, we love you. We'll catch you later on in the week, my friend. Thank you.
Sounds good. You be good.
You got it. There you go. Alan Poupart, baby. And our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646. PPR, draft, keeper, dynasty. It's the Sports Grill, Fantasy Football Zone with Yahoo Sports' Andy Behrens. Keep up with your fantasy football teams by visiting any of the 8 great Sports Grill locations. Sports Grill, good food, good drink, good friends. Here's Andy Behrens.
There he is. How you doing, my brother? You doing good?
I'm hanging in there, Big O. A lot of injuries this week. Some devastating injuries. Got a couple of teams with both DK Metcalf and Breece Hall. Not looking forward to the news today.
No, I'm with you there. That's going to change some things. We're going to get to that. Send in your fantasy football questions. Remember, it's a hell of a lot easier for me to get to them on the Welt and Rayom text line at 855-912-1056. And, of course, right here, nice and easy on the chat board. I can see it right in front of me on the YouTube chat board. Send in any fantasy questions, transactions, trades, anything you want to make a move for. And of course, we'll get a little preview of Monday Night Football tonight because, yeah, of course, it's an exhilarating one for fantasy players. Woo! Yeah,
wouldn't be a primetime game if the Bears weren't involved, right? This is their third primetime appearance of the season. I believe this is the last one, though, so you won't have to endure this much longer.
Thank the Lord. Yeah, thank the Lord. It's like old Yeller, put it out of its misery. Jesus Christ. Michael Carter with the Breece Hall situation. He should be a handcuff already, but that's a guy I would imagine that if something is, it looks like an ACL now with Breece Hall, Michael Carter should be now in the mix.
Yeah, it's going to be bad news for Breece Hall. I think you need to view Michael Carter as somebody who can deliver like 85% of the production that Breece Hall was going to give you. He was, he's probably already rostered in most leagues. I think his roster percentage coming into the week was 65. I am like in that elite club that actually dropped Michael Carter on Sunday morning in a league because I had to make a move to cover a bye. I feel terrible about it. I'm sick about a lot of things, and that's one of them. He's a good player. He's a good receiving option for a team where the quarterback really struggles to throw simple screen passes. But he's a versatile player. Again, already had some standalone value, and now he steps into a situation where he's going to get all the touches he can handle. So Michael Carter, pretty clearly one of those guys. He's out there in about a third of Yahoo leagues. So it's probably, if he's on the wire for you, it's probably an 8-team league. But obviously, he should get scooped up and is going to be plenty productive. He doesn't have that like break the game potential, I feel, that Breece Hall did. You saw Breece Hall's like splash play.
He's more of a flex or a bad 2 is what you're saying.
He's going to be like a low end RB2. There aren't going to be very many weeks, I wouldn't imagine, at least not right away, in which we actually rank Michael Carter as like a, oh boy, must start, potential blow up spot here. He's not exactly that guy. Be interesting to see how much work Ty Johnson gets, probably a little bit. So he's going to be involved in well. That's the guy you can actually add. Not that it's terribly exciting, but Ty Johnson probably going to get a little burn here too.
A little less exciting because he helps you with nothing in PPR, but he is a sledgehammer. And former University of Miami running back Gus Edwards with the Baltimore Ravens, is he an option right now?
Oh, he's a great option. He's among players who are actually available in over 50% of Yahoo leagues. He's pretty clearly the number one ad this week. I was thrown by it. I didn't think that in his return he would get thrown into the fire quite the way he did, but I mean that was clearly the case, right? 16 carries, I want to say it was 15 or 16 carries, 66 yards, couple of touchdowns, couple of short touchdowns. That guy came in averaging 5.2 yards per carry for his career, and the coaching staff loves him. They've always loved him, right? Like they've always leaned on him. He's always been sort of the 1B there. And you can expect him to continue to be featured in that role. As you say, he's no kind of receiver. They've never really used their running backs that way in the Lamar Jackson era. So I wouldn't expect that to suddenly spike. So you're not going to get any sort of PPR bonus. But it doesn't matter if he's scoring touchdowns, right? And he blew up in a great spot this past week, and he's pretty clearly the lead back tied to a team that wants to run the ball all day. So it's a great situation for him. And you almost, you kind of got to tip your cap to the Ravens for, I know it still hasn't worked out with J.K. Dobbins. He had a little setback, had
another one.
Had to go back for arthroscopic knee surgery, which is really unfortunate. But the team, to its credit, has been very patient with these guys. They haven't thrown them out onto the field at the first sign that they might be able to return. Right? They were really patient with Gus, and it certainly paid off this past week.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. Devin Duvernay is clearly the MVP of that team, not Lamar Jackson, right?
Yeah, in terms of expectation.
Yeah, that gamble that Lamar took on himself, it is not paying off, by the way. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's still going to end up paying off for Lamar as long as he doesn't get hurt this year. It's not going to be the worst gamble.
But not the numbers that he wanted. That he thought he was going to. He's not even coming close to those kind of numbers. And
he's probably not going to get the Deshaun Watson deal. But
stats are hurting. But go ahead.
He's just such a rare quarterback, and he can put the ball like anywhere on the field. Let's let the season play out before we decide exactly how much money Lamar may have cost himself or may have earned. He's just sort of a one of one quarterback. So, if he's not giving you 300, 400 yards a week, he can still find other ways to win. Of course, he's found some ways to lose in spectacular fashion this year as well. So I suppose I agree with you there. It would have, if it's me, do I just lock in all of the money that they're putting on the table? I probably do. Duvernay has been the guy that has really exceeded expectations almost beyond anyone else in the league to this point. Bateman has come back, and that's obviously going to take a chunk out of Duvernay's production. It's a frisky little team. I know that Mark Andrews had a quiet week, but I wouldn't expect that to continue either.
Odell, are we at the point where we got to stash him?
I mean, he blew out his knee in the Super Bowl, and so yeah, it's possible that I think the most recent note that I saw on Odell is that they're eyeing a December return. I mean, that's think of all the guys that you can stash right now. I don't know, maybe, but
Well,
if he
if you
comes
have
back,
IR spots, if you have a couple, I mean, if you only
I
have
think
one,
I think I
then
still
maybe that's a
prefer.
problem. But if you have 3 or 4,
Kyron Williams is out there for a lot of people, and that's a guy who could step into a pretty significant workload for the Rams. We don't yet know where Odell's going to go. It's probably the Rams, but he's obviously eyeing a few other spots as well. I'm sure that the goal for Odell is to put himself into a situation where he can make a deep playoff run and be impactful into January. I would just be surprised if he makes a bunch of splashy plays for you in the fantasy playoffs. I'm interested in Jameson Williams. I'm interested in Kyron Williams, and sure, Odell, if you've got an IR spot, don't leave it empty, because that's just a silly waste of resources.
All right. Remember, you want to send in your questions. Welt and Rayom text line 855-912-1056. You want to send in the fantasy football questions right here on the YouTube chat board. You can send them in. Also, we will ask Andy Behrens. Follow him on Twitter at Andy Behrens. And by the way, you can also send them in on Twitter. I'll pull up my my Twitter feed here at Big O Show. That's another way that you can send in some questions. On the Welton Rayom text line, we got 2 of them here. First of all, should I trade Amon for and Sutton for Hopkins?
Wow. No, I don't think so. I mean, bad luck this past week that Amon-Ra St. Brown got the early concussion and got knocked out of the game. It didn't help you. I think Hopkins is good, but I'd put him in the same tier as Amon-Ra St. Brown rest of season. St. Brown has also already had his bye, so you don't have to worry about that, right? As soon as he comes back from the concussion, I think you can assume that he's again going to be the featured guy, and he's going to see about a dozen targets per game, and he's a good shot to find the end zone in any given week. So I realize, obviously, DeAndre Hopkins is coming off the great game. By the way, how about producing your own hype video for your return from a PED suspension? Never seen it. Really appreciated it. I would love to see a baseball player do the same thing. I'd love to see a track and field athlete coming off a steroid suspension produce a little hype video and get the people fired up. You just don't see this in any other sport. That was pretty wild. So yeah, I think there's a slight overpay for Hopkins. Again, I would put him in the same tier as Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Should I sell high on Aaron Jones?
Man, what a mess. All these sell high questions when they aren't attached to specific targets.
Right.
I think it's fine to shop him. I think the Packers offense is broken in a way that cannot be fixed either with anything on the current roster or with any of the names that I keep hearing as, potential trade chips. Like Chase Claypool isn't going to come in and fix that thing, right? They have a need at receiver, and they just have a need for like a stress the defense receiving threat that is not easily found. The time to find it would have been right around the NFL draft when other teams were fixing that problem, right? When Miami was going out and getting Tyreek Hill, when the Eagles were going out and getting AJ Brown. The time to fix it is probably not in the days before week 8 or week 9. So that's going to be tough. So this is a very long way of saying that I think that Aaron Jones is still the best receiving option on the team, which is kind of crazy. But I would, I also think that the ceiling for the Packers offense in any given week is kind of capped, right? And I remember saying this locally after the Packers soundly beat the Bears this year. I actually came away from that thinking that if I were a Packers fan, I'd be a little bit uptight. I'd be a little bit concerned because this Bears team is terrible. And last year, like the last time the Packers had faced them, they put up 45 and they could have put up 65 if they needed to, right? Like Devontae was totally uncoverable. And they just don't have that guy anymore. Like they had a nice little convincing win, but it wasn't the sort of win that they should have put up. And ever since then, it's just, I mean, you want to talk about a disaster. Like losing to the Washington Commanders with Taylor Heineke at quarterback is about as bad as it gets. So yeah, like if you have a glaring need at receiver, you've got Aaron Jones and you just lost DK Metcalf or something like that. Sure, put him on the trade block and see what comes in, because I don't see the Packers as a team that can possibly get to 35 points in any given game right now.
Cap for Life wants to know, Andy, is it true that the hot dog eating contest guy, Joey Chestnut, is juicing? Your thoughts, Andy?
It's a great question, and we need to look into it. It's actually probably one of the great things about competitive eating is I doubt do they test for PEDs? I hope they don't.
I don't. I have no idea if they do or not. I can't even watch that thing. It's gross, dude. It's gross.
I know.
It's disgusting watching. I can't watch that.
I like to hear the numbers associated with it. I like to,
Right.
I like to hear that on the back end, but the actual watching of it, I fully agree with you. And they dip it in that water, and that's super gross. Like that's no way to enjoy a hot dog.
Who dips their hot dog in water, bro?
Nobody.
I mean,
nobody.
I
It's
saw
absolutely
once they had
disgusting.
this mayonnaise eating contest, and some woman ate like 5 pounds. I'm like, ew, that's gross, bro.
There's no way that the
I
prize
understand some
pool
of you
in a
that look, I
mayo
hate
eating
mayo.
contest is
I hate
sufficient.
mayo, but I understand those of you that put a little mayo on your sandwich. 5 pounds of mayo?
Ain't gonna be 5 pounds. No.
No, bro. Ew. I'll be throwing
Oh,
up for
that's
like
vile.
weeks.
Yeah, now I'm gonna be thinking about that for like a month. Thank you.
Yeah. I traded Aaron Jones for Najee Harris. Is this a winning trade? Someone is asking.
Oh man, Najee has been such a problem. And no, I guess would be my short answer. I don't think it is. I'm not looking to take on Najee Harris right now. He's obviously needed. I think he is a much better, like there's, almost every running back situation in the NFL, you can find somebody who's crying out for the backup to take over. And I know that there's people who like Jalen Warren. It's just not happening unless Najee suffers another injury. I just don't think that's happening. So volume is going to continue to be there. He was a very good player last year. He was extremely elusive last year. Actually led all running backs last season when you combine receptions and carries. Led all running backs in missed tackles forced. We are not seeing that version of this player this season. And I suspect it has a little something to do with the Lisfranc injury from the preseason, right? That he eventually came back from, then aggravated early in the year. I just don't think he's feeling like 100% Najee Harris, and he's been woefully inefficient. You guys just saw the offense. Like the offense is pretty dreadful, whether Trubisky is a quarterback or like I think Kenny Pickett is kind of fun and he's got a little gunslinger element to him, and he'll take off and run.
He's a rookie, bro. He's a rookie.
But he's doing rookie things, right? And he's giving the ball away, and you're not going to sustain drives with a guy like that. Najee Harris needed, he really needed that situation he had with Big Ben last year, where Ben, third down, it's like 3rd and 10. Ben is looking for him at the line of scrimmage and throwing a little pass that goes for 6 yards, and then they punt. But like he caught a million passes that way, right? He really, really needed that. And he's certainly not getting it this year because Pickett is looking downfield. Pickett is like, hey man, I've got George Pickens at my disposal. I'm gonna chuck one up to him, see how this goes. So we're not getting those little bunnies to Najee Harris, and that is a big problem, and he's just not been efficient.
All right, let's go through some of the receivers. Paris Campbell, where does he now fall in the Indy mix?
This is wild because Paris Campbell has not, like, we might already be, I don't have his player page in front of me, but we might already have reached Paris Campbell's single season high in games played, right? He hasn't missed a game yet this season. That's been the issue for him, is persistent injuries since he entered the league. He's now seen 23 targets over the last 2 weeks. And guys who see volume like that, you just have to, if you're in a 12-team league or in a 14-team league, you just got to take a shot.
He's moving a flex position. I think he's a flex now.
Oh, sure. He's now the targets are a little bit boring, right? Because he's a slot guy. His average depth of target on the season is only about 5 yards. But Ryan has actually thrown to him near the goal line, right? He's got touchdowns in each of the past 2 weeks. And at this sort of volume in a full PPR, you just got to add him. He's available in a little bit over 95% of Yahoo leagues, so he's out there for virtually everyone. And that offense is throwing the ball like 42 plus times per game. I want to say they're playing a lot of no huddle. They're trying to work fast. Jonathan Taylor probably still not 100%, and they're putting the ball in the air, and he's getting a lot of the work. So yeah, a long way of saying that yes, in any sort of PPR format, you probably need to pick up Paris Campbell.
Wan'Dale Robinson, your
Love
thoughts?
I absolutely love him, and this is a case where there's all of the targets each week are basically up for grabs in New York, right? Like anybody who saw that game yesterday realizes that Daniel Jones badly outplayed his receivers. His receivers were mostly terrible. Wan'Dale was an exception, and the usage really spiked. 2 weeks ago, he found the end zone despite only playing 15 snaps in the game, right? This week, I think it was 29 routes, 50 plus snaps. Like he was on the field a lot more, caught 6 balls on 8 targets, while other New York receivers were just dropping everything in sight. So I think there's a huge opportunity for Wan'Dale. You look at his numbers last year at Kentucky, over 100 catches, over 1,300 receiving yards. He was absolutely uncoverable in the SEC. Prior to that, he'd been a running back at Nebraska, right? So he's a fun, gadgety player. And he's also tied to a couple of really creative play callers in Brian Dable and Mike Kafka, right? So he's with a staff that's going to use him in interesting ways. So yes, I think the arrow is very much pointing up for Wan'Dale.
Now the important questions are coming in: garter belts and high heels, or a sexy nightie?
I'm gonna go with the first option, but this is again a situation where it doesn't have to be either or. It can be both.
It can be both. Paige Sporanic or Kylie Jenner?
I can't make a specific call here, and I would be lost.
First of all, do you know?
I don't even know the first one, and I really only know the second. And I really only know the second one.
Our favorite. She happens to be our favorite golfer on the show.
Well, I'm okay. Well, I'm
Kylie Jenner, or now the woman you have gotten to know as Paige Sporanic.
Yeah, let's go with the show mascot then. Let's go with the first option. Sure.
Okay.
All right. Seems like there's a lot of baggage attached to any Jenner.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, your life will go upside down also at the same time. I'm trying.
Yeah, and suddenly I'm on reality shows. I'm being gossiped about. I don't need any of that in my life.
Oh, wow. Oh man. I got to tell you, can you take that off for me there? Oh, wait a minute. I think I'll be able to do it right now. Okay. Looks like my thing has gotten, the battery is coming apart there on the mouse.
Well, you hate to see it.
No, it's like the acid is coming off the battery or something. I don't know. All right, so that thing may not be working much. All right, one more: Monday Night Football or Thursday Night Football?
Oh, I'm sorry the Bears are on Monday Night Football this week, but hereafter it should get better. Despite how fun that game was this past Thursday, I have to go with Monday nights. The Thursday, two of the worst NFL games that we have seen in recent memory have occurred on Thursday nights this year, and I can't get the stink of that off of us.
Amen to that. All right, what are you working on Yahoo Sports so folks can check you out, my friend?
We're podcasting 5 days a week. The Yahoo Fantasy Football Forecast. Going to do that a little bit later today. Talk about the best waiver ads of the week, and we've got Fantasy Football Live every Sunday, an hour before kickoff.
It's amazing, that podcast platform stuff, huh? It's really taken off. Wow.
Nobody saw it coming.
A lot of people listen to podcasts now. They don't listen to radio anymore, but they're listening to podcasts. That's for damn sure.
Who saw it coming? Certainly not you.
No, not me. Not at all. No, not at all. Andy, much love as always, my brother. We will catch up next week, my friend. May the big wins be yours.
Thanks, brother. Good luck to everybody.
You got it. That is Andy Behrens. Follow him on Twitter at Andy Behrens. And that is our Sports Grill Fantasy Football Zone.
You've been listening to the Sports Grill Fantasy Football Zone with Yahoo Sports' Andy Behrens. Go to sportsgrill.com to find a great location near you. Fantasy football fans, subscribe to the Big O Radio Show on YouTube and all other platforms to catch up with all our fantasy football insight provided by Scott Pianowski and Andy Behrens.
All right, folks. Hey, listen, life insurance is incredibly important. So for those of you, getting up there in age and you're thinking about it, should I do it? Should I get it done? Is this the best move for my family? Yes, it is. Because if something happens to you, then the burden already of losing a loved one is already the weight of the world. If you also have to then take care of the bills and all of that kind of stuff, you want to make sure everything is structured and set up so if something does happen, you're taking care of your family not only when you're alive, but when you move on. And that is really incredibly comforting. That's why Policy Genius is out there for you. Folks, let me tell you, get motivated right now. Policy Genius does it the way you like it right now. Policy Genius was built to modernize the life insurance industry. Their technology makes it easy to compare life insurance quotes from the top companies like AIG, Prudential. In just a few clicks, you can find your lowest price. Now, listen to this. With Policy Genius, you can find life insurance policies that start as low as $17 per month with $500,000 of coverage. That's $500,000, man. That's amazing. Policy Genius has licensed agents who can help you find offers and options, that offer coverage in as little as a week and avoid unnecessary medical exams. And they're not incentivized to recommend one insurer over the other, so you can actually trust their guidance. There's no some ulterior motives there. You know what I'm saying? Agendas. You don't want that. There's no added fees, and your personal info is private, and we all love that. And no wonder they have thousands of 5-star reviews on Google and Trustpilot. Listen, man, you're going to love the financial safety net, and you deserve a smarter way to find it and buy it, folks. So go use PolicyGenius.com. Click the link in the description there. Get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you can save. That's PolicyGenius.com. All right, folks, let's get to a little basketball talk. Ira Winderman covering the up and down Miami Heat and our Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
All right. How you doing, Ira? You hanging in there?
I am doing good, the Big O. Just getting going here. Forgot to turn on my TVs behind me, but otherwise, a Monday after a unique basketball brawl on Saturday night.
By the way, before I get to all of that, I got to tell you, I'm really enjoying the Lakers, demise. I got to say, I'm just enjoying the disaster that is the Los Angeles Lakers, the benching of Westbrook, which was, eventually coming. The fact that they can't shoot threes.
Yes.
I think it was like 18% last night.
Which comes as a surprise to no one. When you don't have three-point shooters, you can't shoot threes. And when you're counting on Russell Westbrook, what do you expect in the first place? So, you know what? It's one of those so simple things, Big O. You are what you are. The Lakers are a team without shooting, with a horrible bench, who thought if they put out Anthony Davis and LeBron James, it would cure all ills. Right. And what has happened to Russell Westbrook? How many guys have we seen, Big O, over the years, even down here in Miami, except that they've gotten older? They're not the same player. A Dwayne Wade playing off the bench when he returned. That's the difference. When you insist that you are something you no longer are, that's where you get in trouble in any level of sports.
Oh, and that bench, dude. Oh, my God. Holy crap. That bench. I mean, it's just, I got to admit, ever since, listen, I'm a hometown guy, so I always root for the hometown teams. And ever since that guy screwed Riley during the moratorium, I will never forgive him for doing that. And so I root for his demise at every chance that it can possibly happen.
Big O, I want to throw you to one since you brought up the Lakers. I know we'll get into the Caleb Martin suspension, but he could make a trade sending Kyle Lowry and Duncan Robinson for Russell Westbrook. You can argue that you want to get Lakers picks or not, but let's just for a second, I'm going to tell you why. If the Heat trade Robinson and Lowry for Russell Westbrook, the Heat move off about $100 million in salary, about $60 million left for Duncan Robinson, about $30 million left for Kyle Lowry. Now they're going to be over the cap because of the
Right.
Tyler Hero deal, but it would make it easier to re-sign Max Strus and Gabe Vincent, maybe even Omar Yurtseven. So I know it sounds crazy, and I know they won't have a point guard other than Gabe Vincent, but I think it's something you have to think about. And folks, this is not to get Russell Westbrook. This is a pure salary cap move anyway.
Right.
But
It's a salary cap move. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that could be interesting. It's something that I think you might want to think about because it gives you flexibility going forward, especially when you're going to have to give Max Strus, Duncan Robinson money. So it comes down to which would you rather have?
I got to thank you because I didn't like that deal when it was first mentioned to me because it's like you're giving away Duncan for nothing because you're trading the two bad salaries. And I get that. And then you're rewarding them by giving them Duncan, but they probably would give you back a first rounder in return, right?
No, that's where you negotiate. We know they don't want to give the 2 first-round picks up to Indiana for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield. Maybe you get 1 first-round pick. Maybe you get 1 protected pick. But Big O, what I'm telling you is it gives you the relief for next summer to take care of Max Strus, who's a better player than Duncan Robinson. Maybe to take care of Omar Yurtseven if he shows something, or to take care at a reasonable number for Gabe Vincent. And again, you could say, wait a minute, Ira, without Kyle Lowry, they're going nowhere. They played pretty damn well on Saturday with Gabe Vincent in there also. And then you could always pick up another player as well. Just a thought.
No, and eventually somebody will be available that you'll be able to make a move for.
Buyout deadline if not.
Right. I mean, in the end, this is what you have to think of. And you convinced me, and I appreciate that because I wasn't a big fan of that move, but then when you talk about the big picture of all the salary you're dumping, then it makes a whole hell of a lot of sense, mathematically. And obviously, they love to be under the luxury tax here. So, yeah, that would also, kind of help out and give them a little bit more flexibility. And at the same time, not so much about Strus and Yurtseven, but if maybe a real star becomes available next year, you might be a player for that star.
Yeah, if you didn't do the Tyler Hero extension, you would. Matter of fact, in retrospect, if you didn't do the Tyler Hero extension, you might have a nice chunk of cap space, but you can't go back and be revisionist on everything. The downside for the Lakers would be this: even if you throw out the draft picks, if the Lakers do pick up a Lowry and a Robinson, then they can't chase a Kyrie Irving in free agency next summer. So it's just a matter. Is LeBron James willing to put another year of his career on hold to wait to what might happen next summer? Otherwise, if the Lakers can roll out a starting lineup of Thomas Bryant, Anthony Davis, Duncan Robinson, LeBron James, and Kyle Lowry, it'll at least maybe put them into the top 6 in the playoffs in the West. Just a thought, just to sort of intrigue things as you wrap up your 3-hour spectacle.
No, I like it. I think that makes it makes a hell of a lot of sense. All right, so Caleb and Jovic suspended for tonight. Caleb's got to keep his cool, man.
Yes,
that was just
he knew it, and he admitted that. Big O, he knew he got those angry eyes. We've all, even as parents, at times got those angry eyes.
Happens to all of us. Come on.
And he just took it a little too far. I thought at first he might escape just with a fine, but you know what? When stuff spills into the stands, that's when it's a different story, and they had to be more careful. The Jovic thing, I feel terrible for the kid. You should not get suspended before you play your first NBA game. That just seems a little bit odd. And again, it happened in front of the Heat bench. So really, it's not a matter that he moved toward the incident. He just didn't backtrack from where the Heat bench was anyway. So really unfortunate for the kid. But look at tonight against the Raptors. No Caleb Martin, no Omar Yurtseven, no Nikola Jovic. I'm figuring they're going to start Haywood Highsmith at the 4, which means if Adebayo or Dedmon get in any foul trouble, you may want to bring the kids tonight. It could be a Udonis Haslem night. They could go smaller with Jamal Cain, but the Heat are going to be limited in the power rotation, and Chris Boucher is back today for the Toronto Raptors, so they will get a little bigger also.
Wow. All right. So is that Bobby Boucher's brother?
I'll leave it at that and let the other people figure out their movie background there.
Your thoughts. I know that they asked you in the Ask Ira, and you were talking about playing the back-to-back nights, and that might be something attractive when it's a sexy team. When it's not a not so sexy team, that's not, I don't know if that's a good thing for the fans.
I think it's a bad thing for the fans, or good things for the players and their rest and their recuperation. This is not necessarily a bad case because Toronto didn't come in with any star missing. But if you get a team that comes in and one of the leading players isn't available on the Saturday, he's probably not going to play the Monday either. And that's it for the season. You don't get to see him at all. At least if you play a team in October and February, there's a chance if he misses the first game, he's back for the second game. I mean, look at the Heat. Like, it's just the way the schedule sets up. You're going to play a couple of teams by happenstance early. The Heat this week are going to Golden State. Next week, they're hosting Golden State. This week, they're going to Sacramento on Saturday. The week after, on Wednesday, they're playing Sacramento. That can happen organically, but it's not your home fans who are missing, a chance to see a player otherwise. Not a big fan, but you know what, Big O? We can't complain about tired players and then complain about doing something to rest them more. But with all of this, the reduced back-to-backs, the same teams in baseball-like series, we've got to stop this whole rest thing. We've got to stop this whole load management thing. That's where you screw fans from seeing a quality player.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there, and I get why they're doing it. It's just I found it really, really odd. Your assessment of Kyle Lowry's play in the first 3 games, because obviously you were talking about the trade possibilities. You tell me, what do you think about his play so far through the first 3 games?
He was horrible in game 1. He was better in game 2, but still doesn't have a shot. And obviously the motivation of playing his former team in the Raptors, he stepped up in game 3. Big O, to me, this is more of a lineup thing. If you're going to put Tyler Hero on the starting lineup, it gives Kyle Lowry the opportunity to defer to Jimmy Butler, defer to Tyler Hero, defer to Bam Adebayo, and you're not getting that sort of 1-2 punch of Kyle also being able to score. I just think there's a total imbalance in this team's rotation that you have all these scorers in the starting unit, and unless Max Strus is scoring for the second unit, you have very little shot creation there in the second unit. You move Tyler Hero back to that bench, you have much better balance. You can really see these starters deferring to Tyler Hero. This is not Michael Jordan. This is not someone you defer to all the time. I think that he'd have to learn to play through it. I think this is not best utilization of the roster, but Big O, as you know, ego has a lot to do with today's modern player, and players want to start.
Can he be that guy still? Because I don't know if he can be a scorer. So isn't he better
off? He can be
a
scorer and get in the paint with his big butt and create space and hit threes. He could be, I'll put it this way, he could be more aggressive than he is now. But let's be honest, Big O, if you and I were to list the point guards in the NBA, right now, Kyle Lowry's a middle-of-the-pack point guard. He just is. This league has some great point guards, and Kyle's play has dropped off a little bit. So the question is he motivated to push himself through these final 2 years on his contract as he turns 37 and 38 years old? I haven't seen that. I haven't seen the fiery MF-er Kyle Lowry that we have seen at other times, especially when he was with the Raptors going against the Heat. So I don't know if it's a personal situation with the family, but I hope he finds his motivation to become a little bit more of an SOB as the season goes on.
By the way, what is ankle impingement?
They told us before it's just an ankle soreness. Omer spoke over the weekend and said it happened in the Heat's exhibition opener against the Timberwolves. So I don't think they're creating any drama there. I know he wants to be out there. But you know what?
It's a twisted ankle? That's all it is? A twisted ankle?
An ankle sprain. Ankle soreness is what we were told. But here's the tell. Tomorrow, the Heat are going to fly early to Portland and practice there. Will Victor Oladipo be on the plane? Will Omar Yurtseven be on the plane? That's when we'll know this downplaying minor is not so minor if you're basically saying they're going to miss another week and not practice. There's almost no practice for the Heat on the road. They go to Portland, they have a shoot-around, they play. Back-to-back Golden State, schedule loss on Thursday. They get Friday off. Sacramento is a 3 p.m. start there, no shoot-around. So they won't be practicing on the road. So if you feel those guys need rehab and therapy time, they'll probably be left behind. I am curious to see who's in the traveling party when they hit the air tomorrow on the way to Portland.
By the way, so all they're doing is screwing with us with all this lingo stuff, ankle impingement, and Oladipo has left knee, not tendonitis, tendinosis.
Tendinosis is more of a chronic injury, and that's more of a problem than just a little bit of soreness. And I really think the Heat almost made an error there in overstating it a little. Remember, this is not his surgical knee. This is the other knee. So there's two things. We always hear about compensation injuries when something is wrong on one side and the other. You know what also happens, Big O, and I wrote this in my Sunday column at the Sun Sentinel, when you turn 30, in basketball years, you get old. Like, it's almost like they should almost put the injury next to his name, Victor Oladipo, parenthesis, getting old, in parenthesis. And that's what I wrote about Sunday. You take a major risk with Jimmy Butler at 33, with Kyle Lowry at 36, with Dwayne Dedmon at 33. God, he looks old. With Victor Oladipo at 30. I know Riley loves his seasoned, grizzled veterans, but you know what? Little injuries become bigger injuries when you hit that 3-0 mark.
Do they make it 2 in a row tonight against the Raptors?
Must win. You're going out west. You got Portland's playing well, just beat the Lakers. Sacramento is better than they were before, which doesn't say much, but still. And man, the Golden State Warriors, they'll be rested. They are not playing on Wednesday. The Heat on the second night of a back-to-back with travel. If I'm circling my schedule, I'm saying that's a schedule loss. I think if the Heat can get 2 out of 3, it'll be a great road trip, which means the only way they come home with a winning record is to win tonight against the Toronto Raptors.
You better win. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heapy. Catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Make sure you subscribe. And by the way, Wednesday, the Inside the Paint Show, the redrecover.com Inside the Paint Show will be in the afternoon from 5 to 6 p.m. Ira will be in Portland. Kurt will be in L.A., and we will be at Hialeah Park on Wednesday instead of Thursday from 3 to 6, because Thursday we need to do an early show because we need to go see Iron Maiden in Tampa Bay. So we have priorities in life, okay? And Iron Maiden is a priority. It's just the way it goes. Tomorrow night, Greta Van Fleet. Thursday, it's Iron Maiden. Next month, it's Metallica at the Hard Rock. Priorities in life. We got to rock on, Ira. That's what it's all about.
Rock on, Garth. I will talk to you guys at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Portland time on a redrecover.com Inside the Paint. And I will text you, Big O, about going a little later after my back-to-back on Friday. We'll negotiate again as we did today. So I will talk to you on Wednesday, talk to you on Friday.
Thank you for taking care of the voice. Appreciate you.
Oh, my pleasure.
Right,
Thanks,
Ira.
Big O.
Thank you. There you go. Ira Winderman, because he wanted to do it at 1 o'clock. And I go, Ira, all right, let me do it at 12:30. I don't want to do 3+ hours today after I was on late last night. Got to take care of the voice, man, so I can last. You know what I'm saying? I've already gone. See, unlike Tua, who gets concussed and suffers all kinds of injuries because he's a crazy nut, me, I got a polyp in my throat. And it was messing up my voice for probably for a couple of years without me realizing it. And then I've got it removed, and it's been just an absolute pleasure. But that's because, as the doc told me, people that, teachers and singers or broadcasters, people that use their voice a lot, have a tendency of developing those kind of things. Now, it took several decades for me to develop one, but I don't want to develop another. So I've got to take care of my voice. That's why I do take a couple of minutes of a break, and I have my concoction with me always to make sure I have my honey and lime, because without that, you know what I'm saying? So I told him, hey, man, I got to be off at 1 today. And yes, we're going to do 3 hours today and no more than that, because I just cannot take it, man. I got to make sure I get my rest. If I don't rest my voice, I am absolutely screwed. So don't forget our friends at Nature Bee. And remember, you can order 2 months and get the 3rd month for free and use our code Big O. All right. But they have an Instagram giveaway going on right now. All you got to do is go to Instagram only, follow Nature BNZ on Instagram, tag a friend in that Instagram post. Okay. You and your friend will be entered to win a prize pack valued over $100. Okay. I've been telling you about Nature Bee for 20 years now. Put the hashtag Big O Radio Show on it. And then there you go. And they'll pick a winner they'll pick 2 winners in early December. Again, Nature BNZ on Instagram only, not Twitter, not Facebook, nowhere. Instagram only. And don't forget, if you want an amazing product that will boost your immune system, give you the energy that you desire every day, so you can have a little extra pep in your step. It helps your digestion. Your nails will grow stronger. Your hair will grow fuller. It is an amazing product. All natural plant pollen grown in clean green New Zealand, straight from Mother Nature. And it is all natural. No chemicals, nothing. It's great for the kids and it's great for the adults. My entire family's been taking Nature Bee. That's why we have less colds in our home every single time. And my wife is a teacher, so she brings home some nasty stuff, and I never end up picking it up, and she rarely, picks it up. So check it out, naturebee.com. Carlos says Oladipo has not played practically the entire time he has been here. What effect has he had? He's less useful than Haslam. I can't argue with that. Carlos, I'd love to have a discussion. You know, you and I, sometimes we get to disagree and we go back and forth. Can't do anything this time, bro. You nailed it, bro. It's over. You know, it's true. I mean, Oladipo's been a waste, an absolute waste of time. They've wasted all this time rehabbing him and everything. The little moments he's had means absolutely nothing here in the big picture. Carlos is 1,000% right. UD does more practicing with the young guys and tutoring them and being a leader for them and a mentor and all that. Way more important than Oladipo, who does not play, does not help, and is not a difference maker. Yeah, no. It's the Oladipo experiment has so far been a disaster. And I get it. They're trying to get something cheap, something that, you know, a stock that is down, a coin that is down. You buy it at its low and you hope that it soars back, and we're all hoping for it. But, you know, how long can you wait when you keep getting a disappointment after another? Like last night. I love Tua to death, bro. I root for Tua. I want him to succeed. My brother, you're not going to succeed if you think you're a running back. Nobody roots for Tua more than I. Maybe his parents and Nick and his wife and, you know, his family members probably root harder than I do, of course. But nobody in the media has had more faith in the kid and believed in him than I have. Okay, and I believe in him. I do. I believe that he can be one hell of a player in this league. He can be an absolute freaking stud, but he will not have a long career if he does that. That was depressing last night. That was depressing to see that he does not change his ways. It's just one of those things that kind of guts you. And the Oladipo thing guts you because it's only one disappointment after another. And God bless him. The guy's trying. He's trying to rehab. He's trying to come back. He's trying to be that guy again. And he gets no breaks. But unfortunately, it's your body, bro. Your body just does not respond. That's not our fault. That's not the Heat's fault. But you are what you are, unfortunately, Victor Oladipo. And what you are is an incredibly injury-prone player. And this is the other knee, not the surgically repaired one. How screwed up is that? After all these years of overcompensating for that bad knee, now you screwed up your other knee. And here's the other thing that I've noticed for athletes. When they go through years of injuries, they rarely come out of it. It happens, but they rarely come out of it. They just lose what they were because it's just one injury after another, after another, after another, and they could never recapture what they were. And the fan and the owner and the front office executive and the coach, everybody is waiting for you to come back to be what you were, but you've had so many injuries that it's taken a couple of layers off of talent that you're not going to ever get back to where you were. And that's what I'm afraid of with Oladipo, that he's just never going to get back to where he was, and he can't even stay healthy anyways. Let's see. He is not doing anything wrong. It's football, and he does not absorb the hits that good. Okay, I don't know what that means for the foot. Let's see. After the game, y'all still convinced he's our QB? Oh, by miles, he's the QB. He's a hell of a QB. He was off yesterday. I don't care about that. But that's Victor Popo, you know, that's a lazy ass take. Were you saying that when he came back against Baltimore or when he beat Buffalo? Did you say that? Did you say, do you think he's still a QB? Because it sounds kind of stupid to say it after last night when he's off for 24 days. And what do you expect him to be sharp? No, he wasn't sharp yesterday. He played like crap yesterday. But that's what you're basing it on? You're the guy that hated Tua, and you've been proven wrong. So now you're trying to, you got back on here because he was, he had an off night last night. So now you want to use that like, is he the guy? Were you saying he's the guy after Buffalo? See, that's where you have no credibility in my book. So, lazy ass take. Well, after last night, you guys still think he's the guy? Why? Because he was off after 24 days off? Brother. Yeah. No, I can tell, Vic, he never convinced you. I can tell by your stupid comment today. It's Papo. Clase come mierda eres. Papo. You know? He's not convinced he's a guy. You're 4-0 with him. 0-3 without him. That's not convincing enough, Vic. You win with him, and you don't win without him. I don't know. Are you that smart, Vic, or are you not smart enough? That's pretty simple math. Right? I think with this, does it make him 17-8 now? As a starter? Games he started and finished? I believe it's 17-8. Got to look it up. Maybe I'm off by a game here or something. Let me see. I love those guys. Oh, you think he's the guy? No, I know. They only win with him. So, no, he must not be the guy. Let me see. He's 17-9. (17-9), and I think that 9th loss, they gave him the Bengals, even though he didn't play the rest of that second half. So I think he ended up getting that loss. Actually, Papo, he wasn't really sharp in his first 3 drives. Go back and look at it. Some of the passes were behind. They weren't necessarily, they were scoring and all that, but they were kind of wide open, and they weren't really in stride. He wasn't really in stride. But it's all right, dude. You're the lazy, typical fan. We're good, bro. We're good. We're good. We got you, bro. We know where you come from. Nelson Alfonso says, I grew up on that neighborhood. There's a great pizzeria on 32nd and Coral Way called Super Pizzeria across the street from the gay nightclub Azucar. Where's that? I grew up on 32nd Avenue, Coral Way. Super Pizzeria. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. When you cross Coral Way and 32nd, that you're headed towards the Grove, that second block, it's on the left side inside that little shopping center. It's I know exactly the place you're talking about. I used to go to Super Pizzeria myself all the time, Nelson. Yes. Is Super Pizzeria still there? Because Via Italia's gone. We were just talking about that earlier. Via Italia was right around the corner too on Coral Way. Ass-kicking place. Great garlic bread. Probably the garlic bread that was second to the Big Cheese. The Big Cheese has just, sick ass garlic breads. But Via Italia's garlic breads were right behind them, bro. And they were gone. But Super Pizzeria, that's a good place. I forgot about that place. Nice job by you, bro. I like that. Big O, I'm with you. Haters are only going to hate, but also cowards that hide and poke their heads at the convenient time. Yeah, that's that dude. He never showed up after the Buffalo game and all that, the Papo guy. And hey, bro, he balled out. I was wrong. See, those are the people I respect. People are going to come back and say, dude, he's proven me wrong. But those people that throw rocks and they run and hide. Yeah. Now, only an idiot at this point says he doesn't want Tua. Only an idiot. Your guy is 17-9. And he has yet to really finish developing. He has yet to have an offensive line that really works well. He has yet to have a running game. You know what I'm saying? His defense is kind of shady at times right now with all the injuries. And he's 17-9. That dude was winning more than he was losing with a garbage coach like Flo. I don't know, man. But 17-9. That's a pretty good record. I'll take that. Big Cheese, Frankie's, and Cazola's are all great. Can't go wrong with any of those. That is true. That's very true. Frankie's Pizza on Bird Road is also just a staple, man. I love Frankie's Pizza. And the lady that's there all the time, I don't know her name. She is just a gem of a person. She's always there, super helpful, really nice. Always at Frankie's Pizza. I don't know the lady's name, but she is an absolute doll, man. She's got the whole place controlled, running it. The kids that are working there. Looks like she gets a good group of people to work there. She's the owner, I'm sure, or general manager, or because she's always there. But she is a fantastic person. Have no idea what her name is, if anybody knows or whatever. But it just, I all I got to say is that she's awesome. Awesome. Yeah, and Cazola's is real. Yeah, Cazola's is the bomb. There's no doubt. Cazola's awesome, and it's classic. They throw the slices, the little pieces, so you can come and taste the pizza while you're waiting for your pizza. Cazola's is a classic place, man. Lovin' Oven in Cooper City. Lovin' Oven in Cooper City, bro. That sounds like a Plato's Retreat or something. It sounds like an adult place that people go to, what's that called? The swingers? That's what that Lovin' Oven. That sounds like a swing. That's not a pizza place, Fritter Food. You're screwing with us. You want us to go pull up to Lovin' Oven, and we're like, yo, this is not a pizza place. But let's go in anyway. Now, I see what you're doing. You're trying to trick us. Lovin' Oven. Come on. We know naughty things are going on there. I have a Steve Pizzas in Kendall, the sister of the one in North Miami, the original. I used to go to Steve's Pizza all the time when I worked at WLQY and WKAT right there on Biscayne Boulevard. One was on 119th. The other one was 135th, both close to that Steve's Pizza, which is an institution. And I don't know how many times I ate at that Steve's Pizza. A crap ton of times. Very good place. Jamie says, Big O, those commentators last night are totally biased. Even my kids noticed, and we're asking why they would phrase things as Steelers are not doing things, never from the Dolphins' perspective. No, they were counting dropped interceptions, which is like something that they never do. But for Tua, they'll do it, of course. Oh, Lordy. Tua was the number one ranked QB in the NFL going into last night. There's a Lovin' Oven bakery here in Española, New Mexico. Yeah. You put bakery. How convenient, huh? Yeah, I'm sure. All you Lovin' Oven people, huh? We got a bunch of horny bastards listening to this show right now. I see through you folks. Trying to trick us to go to Lovin' Ovens. Wouldn't you love it? All right, we got to thank Alan Poupart, Andy Behrens, Ira Winderman, Sean Stanley, as always. By the way, breaking news coming in right now. Tests have shown that Jets running back Breece Hall has suffered a torn ACL and minor meniscus injury, a source has told Adam Schefter. So, unfortunately, he is out. Actually, Ian Rappaport had it 2 minutes before Schefter. So let me give our guy, Ian Rappaport, his test have confirmed Breece Hall did, in fact, tear his ACL, and the team feared. Sources said after the MRI, he also had meniscus injury. His promising rookie season is over. So Ian Rappaport with the breaking news. Yes, sir. Oh, Lovin' Oven. But why you got to go with reality? Reality's not fun. Well, now we got to go try it. We got to try any place that's called Lovin' Oven. We got to try it. Will it motivate you to go do a little lovin'?
It's good.
Oh, you've been there? Seriously?
Of course, the pizza place in Broward. I've been there.
Okay. I didn't know that was your life's agenda to visit all pizza places in Broward. Had no idea.
I love.
By the way, I know I was leaving, but I got to say one more thing because, of course, I'm king at talking a lot of shit. A lot of Steeler fans yesterday. A lot of empty seats for the University of Miami football team. Nobody goes to Marlins games. Folks, don't blame the people that sell their tickets. Don't blame the fans. Don't blame the media. This is all on the teams. And so the Dolphins have been incredibly mediocre for 20 plus years. Fans that have season ticket holders, they have an opportunity to sell their ticket for 3, 4, 5 times the amount. I can't blame them if they want to stay home. But it's up to the team to become great, to make all the fans want to be there. There's a reason why the Heat fan base dominates their arena constantly, because the Heat have given their fan base everything to root for every single year. And the Canes have failed. The Dolphins have failed. The Marlins have failed. Inter Miami has failed. Up until this year that they started to turn the corner, they've been a miserable failure in everything that they've done. And finally, now they may start turning the corner. And one more year of getting rid of all their financial liabilities, then they might be able to really take that next step forward. And they have a real general manager. But in this town, if you want the support, you got to earn it. And I want to bring it up because earlier in the show, somebody was like, oh, man, I didn't like that there were a lot of Steelers fans there. Do something about it. Team, win. That's all. It's all Italia Shire. Dunn and Rocky, win. And then they will come. And they will pack it. And they won't sell their tickets. With the Canes, I don't know if you'll ever get to the point like that because they were never like that even in their heyday. FSU, a couple of those that would get packed. But, I just don't ever think a Virginia game is ever going to be packed. I'm sorry. It's not sexy enough. Even if the Canes are super sexy. You might get 40, 50,000, but, you're not going to get it all packed up, like normal. But win is what I would say. If you win more and become a contender, people will not sell their tickets because they'll want to be there. And that's it. So for that person that put it in the text earlier, it was a couple hours ago, so I won't be able to find it, but I made a note of it because I wanted to talk about it. I forgot about it now. So there you go. It's really not your fault or my fault or the media's or anybody else's. It's really up to the team. They're the ones that have to sell themselves by proving to people that they're competent and they can win big. Those are the facts, man. Lovin' ovens since 1973. Okay. By the way, Carmine's Pizza is Apple-Maddox is best. Okay, I don't know what Apple-Maddox is, but okay. Carmine's Pizza. My brother asked why Dolphin fans were booing and had to tell him those were Steeler fans. Well, the Steeler fans, of course, are loud. They're all full of beer and drunk, and they're on vacation. People love coming here, dude. We're South Florida. All right, Sean Stanley, you are awesome, sir, as always. Maybe you'll go to sleep sometime in the next 24 hours. We will see you all tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Don't forget, Wednesday we'll be at Hialeah Park in the afternoon, not Thursday. Wednesday, 3 to 6 at Hialeah Park. We'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Y'all be good out there.